Hello and welcome to the 2026 NBA Draft second round SICKOS stream. I know that you guys love it. I know that you guys are here for the second round of the 2026 NBA Draft. You want to know all about the guy that I just introduced Kyle Mann to that might get drafted in the second round tonight. You guys want to know all about what happens with Isaiah Evans going in the second round or Henri Vesar going in the second round. And as you can see on your screen, because Bryce Simon is out coordinating the defense of his football team, we have a special guest. It's Kyle Mann, baby, from The Ringer, one of my favorite human beings on planet Earth. Kyle Mann is here. Kyle, what's going on, buddy? How are you?
You know, you just replaced another. You were looking for the next best, or maybe go down a few, down a few rungs for the next best bald guy with a beard, who's white. And I'm glad that I was on, that I got the bullpen, the call. You think are there any sickos that are so sick that they just skip the first round? Are there any basketball hipsters who are just like, I can't do this this is too popular for me. I wonder how sick it gets out there. I'm curious.
I hope so. I hope that happens. I hope that some of you did not like participate in the first round at all last night, and you're just coming here to watch Narcisse Ngoy or to watch Tobias Jensen or who knows what international players NBA teams might come up with. Noam Yakov. We'll find out, baby. We're ready to go. So
Muhammad
the way that
Amini.
this will go.
Yeah.
Oh, Muhammad Amini. Shout out Nancy. All right. So the way this is going to go, we're going to talk to Kyle a little bit about the first round, see what his takeaways were. And then the second round is going to start. And my goodness, we're going to have some names, folks. It's going to be a couple of dudes talking about some names. And I am so excited and ready. But first, Kyle, what did you think of the first round last night?
Dudes talking names. The first round last night, I mean, I read through some of your stuff. I think I had a similar conclusion of the broadest takeaway, and Bill and Joe House and I talked about this on the Ringers live stream after the draft was done, is this prevailing feeling that there's not as much chaos, that there's not as much just absolute foolishness that is disrupting everything. It was, you went through line by line, and I had a friend text me and be like, you need to grade harder. And I'm like, I'm just, the only real move that you can do is you can like give a bad grade from where I was sitting. And it seemed like you were in a similar spot where I was like, I could go through here and be like, this isn't exactly where I had this on my board, but that felt like, that didn't feel like totally rock solid reasoning to give somebody like a D or an F or something like that. Everything felt sane in a way. But then I heard some people kind of countering with, is that just the function of groupthink? Because, as we know, year by year, we come back and look at these orders and we realize that, we were off on this, or we underestimated the arc of this person, or we overestimated the arc of this other person. This guy didn't come along. This guy a lot of different things can happen. So that was the biggest broad takeaway for me, other than just kind of the order shaking out at the top with these phenomenal talents.
Well, I think that's right. And I tried to come up with a few reasons for why I think that happened last night, to be honest with you, when I did winners and losers from last night. And I think I came up with like 3 reasons why, because to be honest with you, for any individual pick last night, I don't think that I could get below like a B- C+ level. And that's just like not normal. Like, because we didn't have any chaos actors like Troy Weaver in the mix, it just felt like we couldn't, it felt pretty normal, right? And I think that there are 3 things happening, right? I do think that like teams are getting better at drafting. The scouting ecosystem league-wide is just becoming a bit more advanced. That is real. Like, I can't sit here and tell you that it's not. When you talk to teams around the league, they are doing a better job of sorting through kind of the mess and going through all of the, kind of flaws that they would fall for and kind of excising those in some way. The second thing is that like there are just way fewer marginal inefficiencies to be mined now, right? Because the name, image, and likeness rights that have taken over college basketball's like draft decision process, it just makes it so that the draft pool is way more narrow among players that are worth guaranteed contracts, which means there's a little bit of there's less difference in terms of like, okay, do I think that this guy who I have, like Alan Graves, right? You and I have talked about Alan Graves. I'm not a massive Alan Graves fan. I totally understand Alan Graves going 19 to the Raptors because he fits their scheme in the best possible way, right? Like he ticks all of their boxes scheme wise. So I can't sit here and tell you that I think that that is going to be a catastrophic pick. And I think that because guys like Mo Crevis, like Tunde Yesufu, like Thomas Houck, Braylon Mullins, Matt Abel, Amari Allen, like go down the board, right? Because those players aren't entering the draft early anymore and before they're ready to play in the NBA, there are just fewer marginal inefficiencies, right? That you can just point to and be like, oh, that's a steal. Like that's a guy I want. There just aren't, the talent pool is narrower. And then finally, like, I just wonder if we got all the chaos out of our system with the Giannis deal. I think it's very possible.
Maybe.
Like we might be good.
What's the lowest grade you gave? And which one was it?
I haven't done grades yet. I do full draft grades after the proceedings. I would guess it was probably Zuby Ejiofor, if only because it's not that I think Zuby's going to be a bad player. It's just, it feels very samey to me for the Hawks, where I think that it would have made more sense to go with like a bigger big man for them, like somebody who's actually center sized as opposed to another small big with Onyeka Okongwu there already. Look, you can just say like, if you think Zuby Ejiofor is, an awesome basketball player and he's just the best player available, I do understand that on some level. I'm not going to be immune to that argument. But for me, it was probably Zuby. I can't give Graves like a great grade with the Raptors, but I can't sit here and tell you, like, put it this way. If the Grizzlies would have drafted Alan Graves at 16 after taking Cam Boozer, I would have given that like probably a D, honestly.
Yeah.
But like the Raptors, like I can totally understand what they're going for with it. As long as I understand the process, it's really hard for me to give a really bad grade.
Yeah. I Zuby ended up being mine too. And it was one that I just looked at and I was like, there are a lot of things about Zuby that it's one of those I like you, but the number next to you kind of dictates my level of excitement or nausea on the other side of it. So I mean, for Zuby, I don't really. It's nitpicky, like you were saying. I mean, they took Asa last year. If you look at kind of what they need, they are stacking kind of similar players in that 3, 4, 5 range, and they don't even really have a 5, like a true 5. So it's really in the 3, 4, 4.5 range. So it's just a lot of bodies, and that was the only real nitpick I have on Zuby. But he offers a lot of intangible stuff, man. I mean, he can pass the ball, started to flirt with shooting it a little bit. But I wondered about him like scoring in the half court when like bigger 4s and 5s are on him, because as we saw at times that could bother him. Didn't dunk a ton always in the half court unless he had kind of an open run to the rim. And but yeah, overall I'm with you. I didn't really, even the guy like Kareem Lopez that I'm not as high on, I was like, I understand Memphis's mindset in taking him.
Well, and Memphis traded down, picked up 5 second-round picks in addition, and then took a guy at 21 that I have at 24. And like, while I think Koa Pete is literally better at like everything like that Kareem Lopez does, other than shoot, like I think he's just a better version of Kareem Lopez, except for the shooting. Yeah. A, shooting's important, and B, like, I at least like understand the concept of, let's move down a few slots. Let's pick up a ton of extra value and take a guy that, we think has a chance to have some reasonable upside. So I even that one, like I couldn't hate. And the Grizzlies ended up being one of my winners last night just because you get Cam Boozer and you get all of that value. It's just like, well, that's pretty good. I mean, my big winner last night was the Kings. I thought the Kings did awesome. And
yeah,
like
making
when was the last time?
Moves.
Well, like the big thing that I brought up on the stream and brought up in the winners and losers column was just, hey, why and when was the last time that somebody like positioned himself in the draft to try to get to Sacramento? You know what I mean? Like Darius Acuff.
Hallie's the last time. I mean, right?
But like, it was more that Halliburton was like comfortable going to Sacramento. In that draft, not a lot of people were comfortable going to Sacramento. Halliburton was like, yeah, I have no problem with it. Sounds great. Acuff, they made like a real concerted effort to get him down to number 7. You know what I mean? And like, it's a credit to Scott Perry, man. Like, I get it that Scott Perry, like, you know, gets laughed at sometimes, and you know, it is what it is. Like, his GM track record is what it is. But like, man, I'll say this about Scott Perry. Like, he's a guy that league wide is incredibly well respected for his relationships. He's incredibly well respected for being able to make situations like this happen. And I think it's a huge credit to him, and it's a huge credit to the Kings. They were able to get this done. We have a question here from Dina Frio. D'Onofrio, maybe we can go with. Sam, nervous Clippers fan here, haunted by the ghost of SGA. Heard you say there's a chance Wagler is the best player from the draft in 3 years. Can you explain what that might look like? Just want us to get a guy who can be a true superstar, and he wanted the other guards. Look, like, I had Keaton Wagler like basically neck and neck with Darius Acuff, 5 and 6 on my board. I absolutely love what Wagler can bring to the table. It's the ability to really play off of his pull-up jumper. The way I'm using a Kyle Mannism here, I think about this when I say this all the time, because this is something Kyle would say, right? And I'm very proud of myself. Like, when you watch a quarterback, like Patrick Mahomes or Caleb Williams, right? And they have that like extra split second in their head to be able to escape a sack or to be able to like get a throw off right before they get drilled. Aaron Rodgers is like the prime example of this in my head, right? When you watch Keaton Wagler and you watch him play off of his hesitation and play off the threat of his jumper, it feels like he has that extra split second where he's able to like kind of hold that hang dribble there and draw a defender toward him, or the defender decides to sit back because he's anticipating the hang dribble. In that little moment of hesitancy between the defender, along with his ability to play in, you know, any sort of situation, because he's a real dribble, pass, shoot, process, think player, allows him to be like really lethal with the ball in his hands. And like, I get it that he's not wildly explosive. I get it that he's not the craziest athlete in the world, but man, he decelerates super well. Like, I think that there's more to his athleticism than what people think. And that's the way it'll look. It'll look like a slower player that uses the threat of his jump shot and then thinks at an incredibly high level to be able to get loose. It's almost like, it's like if you crossed like Austin Reeves, who just got paid today. We might talk about that at some point. And like some aspects of Tyrese Halliburton, not all of them. Like, I think Halliburton, you know, is probably a better prospect at the end of the day. But like, I really, really like what Wagler is able to bring to the table. Like, where are you at on Wagler? Because we haven't actually talked a lot about Keaton, I don't think.
No, I don't think so. Obviously, I've talked a lot with your colleague CJ Moore about him to get a little more colored texture about the story, because he literally hooped with Keaton Wagler and took credit for his development. I was teasing him about that. He's kidding. I don't know if CJ's kidding though. CJ, great hooper also. No, I had Keaton ahead of Acuff.
CJ can go, man. Like, people don't get it. CJ is like a real basketball hooper. Like, he can go.
He can do it. Yeah. No, I had Wagler ahead of him. It's funny because Lawrence Frank had a pretty interesting presser talking about Keaton testing with them, and said that he had tested near the top of guys that they had tested in terms of deceleration and stimulus-driven kind of processing, which I've talked a lot with Eric from P3 a lot, which is kind of not a public-facing thing, because we get so obsessed with like the very, you know, out on Main Street spreadsheet, combine stuff. And there's just so much context that goes into those numbers that people, like, I always bring this up that, if you're a slow loading 45-inch Max Vert guy, that is not as useful as a 39-inch fast loading Max Vert guy. It's just, there's so many little things like that. But Keaton has that like little finger Game of Thrones thing going on where it's like they want me to play their game and I'm not. You're going to play my game. You're coming in. That's more Luka. Harden brought those things into the league about deceleration and processing. And you're right. The crux of that is his pull-up jump shot. I mean, the numbers here support it where, 39.1 on pretty decent volume and pick and roll. Just a great pull-up shooter. And he's going to be able to toggle between that and being like a secondary creator, playing off the catch and moving and doing things like that. I had him ahead of Acuff just because I feel like I'm getting a lot of the same things with just similar defensive challenges, and he's just bigger. And so that was kind of my thought process on that. Keaton just absolutely flambéed teams that play drop against him this year. Like any team, it was just death curtains. He's just such a technician with the ball, man. I really feel like people are obsessing over him playing with Garland, but I think that they could play this in a way where they bring him along slowly as a secondary guy that plays with their main starting five, whatever it is, and then let him run with the second unit. Like, there's a lot of ways that they could approach this, but Keaton, I'm a huge fan of Keaton. Like, I just think he's a really smart player, and D-Cell is it's in vogue right now. Austin's pretty fast. I feel like that's kind of the advantage he has over Keaton, but I wouldn't put anything past Keaton in terms of his development, what he could add.
Yeah, I totally agree. I'm excited to see where this goes. A couple people have asked me about Richie Saunders tonight in the comments here. Let's see. Can you explain the hype for Richie Saunders? We're talking about a 25-year-old who probably doesn't even play this year. Is the second round just that bad? Kind of, yes, to be honest with you. The second round
for the
this
latter,
year is not
yes.
great. But honestly, like, part of it for me is that I just think Richie Saunders is like actually able to come in and play pretty early in the NBA. Like, I think he's a way underrated defender for what he is. He's strong. He's stout. He's able to like actually hold his line defensively and makes really good like 1-on-2 decisions on the weak side and like understands where he's supposed to go in rotation when he's scrambling. And he's just a monster shooter, obviously. Like, he can shoot, he can attack closeouts. There are just some things that he does at a high level.
Yeah, he has some things that I want to see him improve on in terms of the conditions on which he gets his jumper off, because a lot of his like moving, I went back and was kind of tracking the types of shots that he took. And it was like, if he's moving laterally and his hips are like moving at all, or you like cause his shot pocket to kind of twist at all, the guys in his position that are going to like live on, like, we need you to take tough contested threes. We need you to come off of these flares or these pin downs or whatever and get the ball up in the air, like the AJ Greens or, Duncan Robinson's obviously a great example of this. Teams are good at stimulating that and growing that in guys. So I feel pretty decent, and he has great elevation on his jumper. But I think the thing that Richie has from a lot of the guys that play in that movement shooter role is that he is really tough. He's kind of a son of a bitch getting downhill, like with his head. Like he's a lot tougher than you would think. And I'm allowed to swear. Am I allowed to swear on this? Should I not have done that? Okay. That distinguishes him, I think, from a lot of guys. And he is older. He's an older guy, but did the mission. That's really has he been that much of a different player in the last 3 years to you?
The last year, I would say I thought that the last 2 years he was basically the same guy, which is great. Like, I think he's ready to go, to be honest. So important development here, actually. The New York Knicks are trading number 31 and 55 to the Houston Rockets for number 39 and 53, and they're going to get a 2029 Sacramento Kings second rounder. This begins night 2 of the 2026 NBA draft. So the Houston Rockets going up to 31. I'm fascinated to see what they decide to do. Not sure who they're going with.
You know the Houston Rockets really well, Sam. In your opinion, what would you add if you were? Let's put your feet to the fire. I mean, what do you think they need?
Look, I would take Saunders because they could use another shooter like this. To me, I think that they could really use another big time shooter. I would be surprised if they did Isaiah Evans. The guy that I wonder that they could do is maybe Emmanuel Sharp.
Oh, okay. I was going to say 3-2-1 Ryan Conwell. That's who I kind of had in mind for them. Could
So
put it on the floor a little more. Yeah.
He can, but I think Sharp's better on defense, and I think that Ime would probably connect a little bit more with Sharp than he would with Conwell. Yeah, interesting.
Pretty well too. There being in town. I don't know if that synergy or that familiarity plays a role, but those two guys are sort of an interesting way that they could go. Evans just feels like.
Can I call out one more real quick now that I think about it?
Go for it.
I wonder if they would do Bruce Thornton. Maybe like Bruce Thornton could be like he ticks a lot of the, oh my God, this guy's wildly efficient, very good scorer on the interior, great floater game, great mid-range game, really high level shooter. Like that could be one too. That wouldn't stun me.
Can you withstand? I don't know what Aaron Holiday's current deal situation is. Could you withstand another smaller guy like that can throw him in there? I feel like the advantage. I feel like I would probably go with a Sharp or a Conwell before I'd go with like another small kind of bucket getter type dude. I love Thornton, but yeah.
Just knowing them, I don't think they'll care about the fit. I think that they just will take whoever they think is the best player. I mean, it'd be very funny if Bruce Thornton beats out Reed Shepherd.
Would that be funny, Rod? That Sam? Oh God.
No, it wouldn't. It'd be bad, but Bruce can go, man. He's a good player. Look, we'll find out who it is. I honestly have no idea. One of Thornton, Sharp, or Saunders would be my 3, though. If you made me pick 3.
Let's see. Shams reporting Boston's are engaged in more trade talks surrounding Jaylen Brown. I haven't watched the video. I don't know if there's like new intel on that, or do you think the toothpaste is out of the tube? That's the matzo ball thing. It's like, can we come back from this? Brad kind of did some damage control with the I let Jaylen know beforehand. I don't know if that would help. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know, to be honest with you. It depends on when they get back. It feels like the toothpaste might be out of the tube at this point. If they're actively discussing things, then that could be a thing where it's just the toothpaste is out of the tube at this point. We got to move on. I don't know. It depends on what they get. That's the biggest thing to me. Really depends on what they get. So I have the stream on mute for what it's worth.
Same.
Mark Tatum is on the screen for folks wondering what's going on here.
Stop smiling for 1 second, Mark. It's unsettling. Frown. Throw in some change up your pitches. Be contemplative for a moment. Oh, he just never stops. It's it's just unsettling. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay, so we have some folks out there reporting that it is going to be Bruce Thornton. So I feel pretty good about that. Okay. Having kind of thought that it'd be one of those 3. That's interesting. Okay. So Bruce Thornton, I have him ranked 37th on my board. Totally get this pick. I thought I would be higher on Thornton than the consensus, but I'm apparently not. 6 foot guard, 6'5" wingspan, 8.5 standing reach. Just a monster scorer, Kyle. 20 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists per game. Makes great decisions on the court. Almost 5 3-point attempts per game, drilled 40% of those. Again, 55% from the field is the number 1 option in the Big Ten. Defense is selling out night after night after night against him. Just a really, really impressive scorer from all 3 levels. Made his mid-range pull-up jumpers at a 53% clip. Has these really nasty hesitations and inside-out fakes that he'll hit before rising and firing. Loves that little 6 to 12 feet area from the rim. 57% on floaters this season. I think he's just a very real scorer of the basketball who will be effective at the NBA level.
Yeah, I compared him to sort of go to the football thing again. I mean, he's just like a second down, hit the gap like a freaking rocket nuclear missile kind of thing. He's very low to the ground and can score. He can get you on your heels, and then he just can break on a dime and hit you with those little just shot put runner floater kind of things. And then I had him at 40. This guy scored over 2,000 points in college at just over true shooting efficiency of just over 60%. So this is volume. This is consistency. This past season, he got up 132 shots in non-restricted area twos, and he hit almost 66% of those. So this guy could score. And then the catch and shoot numbers have been really consistently good at volume too. So over the course, this is stat avalanche here, 312 catch and shoot threes over the course of his career at Ohio State, and the lowest percentage that he shot in any of his 4 years was 38%. Got up in, he usually was hovering around 43, 44. So this dude is just buckets. I don't know. Who was your comp for Bruce Thornton?
I didn't really do a comp for him. I mean, I really like the fact that you brought up the idea of a football player, because
Barry
his entire
Sanders?
family is,
Yeah.
his entire family's football players, right? Like his dad played cornerback at Georgia and was drafted in the 4th round of the 2004 NFL draft. His brother is a safety at Florida right now, who's
Both of
probably going to
those.
get drafted next year.
Yeah. Wow. That checks out. That just absolutely checks out. Yeah.
Like he has the frame for it. You know what I mean? Like he just absolutely looks like a guy that is a monster player. Played AAU with Bryce Sensabaugh and Dillon Mitchell, and was just like an outstanding player on those teams as well. Just a real high level player, and honestly, just like one of my favorite dudes to watch at Ohio State. Like, look, you know, I went to Ohio State, love the program, love the team, love Bruce Thornton. Just one of my, look at Kyle pointing out the Janai Broom Morehead State logos. Here
I
we
was
are.
there when Fareed was there, so that's my Morehead State origin story, which makes me feel older and older by the day. But yeah. Thornton's great,
big time. But yeah, no, like I'm a huge fan of Bruce Thornton. I'm excited to see him go to Houston. It's a very Houston-y pick to me. You know, a team that does value analytics in some respect for sure, cares about the numbers, taking just like, frankly, maybe the most efficient guard in the country this past year as a high level scorer. I totally get it. Just given the floater game, given everything he brings to the table. Here we go. Mark Tatum coming out. I would imagine he's going to announce Bruce Thornton here.
We'll see if he stops smiling. I'm glad that they're not doing this in like a hotel ballroom like they did during like the Bronny draft. That was the most awkward. At least we're in a nice production values higher here.
It's true. Look, there have been trade rumors around this Memphis pick. I would not be surprised to see Memphis move this either. They just don't have a ton of roster spots, right? So I think that if they're taking somebody, it might be a little bit off the board because it might be like a guy that they're two-weighing, right? Or if they trade it, it could be someone coming up to get somebody a little bit, you know, higher on consensus boards is what I would say. So we'll see what Memphis does here. We both liked Memphis's night last night. It sounded like you're a big Cam Boozer guy, right?
I had him number 1. So you could say that I did like Cam Boozer. I just think, speaking of, I think this sanity, you and I were talking about like Chris Sinak. I think maybe, I can't remember, it all bleeds together, but sanity is a word that just comes up a lot for me when I'm talking about basketball. Just there are guys who have a calm waters to Cam Boozer and just clear-headedness. He doesn't sabotage himself with, you know, misguided pursuits of like, I want to do this. And it's like everything that he does, he builds slowly. He slowly become a good, you know, he's running 4 or 5 pick and roll with like Patrick Ngungba and knocking those down. So that'll be interesting with Zach Edey when you have this just tectonic rim runner like that. Then they have to get under him to stop him. And it's like you concede that shot to Cam Boozer and he's going to make it. He passes a really shootable ball. Like his passes are just have a lot of touch on them. He's the kind of passer that if you're a shooter, you want to play with. So I see that enabling Cam Spencer and Cedric Coward and on down the line, man. So it's a great organizational fit. You know, I think it's a much quieter sort of, I kept calling it an organizational kind of mouthwash from what they went through when it was that last Memphis rebuild, man, they burned really hot. And when they were burning, they were a lot of fun. That playoff series against the Warriors was one of the most fun, I think, in the past few years. But it burned so hot that it burned itself down. So, you know, the Morant era, I'll be curious to see what they choose to do with that. But Boozer is, if you want somebody to lead the next area of your rebuild, I think Boozer's an awesome guy to have.
Yeah, I would totally agree with that. Do you have strong takes on the bedazzled draft hats that they're giving out right now?
I don't mind it. I don't mind it. It's not. It's a subtle bling. You know, I'm not going to act like I'm a guy who's ever blinged. Sam, you don't strike me as either as a guy. Are you a chain guy? You ever you know diamond tennis bracelets? I could see
No.
you liking watches. You like watches?
So there was a time in my life where I liked watches, but the ADHD like brain thing, I always found myself playing with them, and I would literally like leave them like out at bars. And it was just like, well, okay, I can't do this anymore.
We're talking like a Submariner, like you're like, or it's like a
No,
like a
just
Rolex.
I would
like
click just taking it off, take it on, take it off, take it on kind of thing.
I see. Fidgety.
Very fidgety in that respect. Yeah, I need to be doing something a lot of the time.
Sure.
So yeah, that was at the end of the day, watches. I do have like a watch that I will wear, but nothing crazy, and I tend not to wear it out now. Is the key.
What do you think about the Boozer Edey situation? Granted, Edey would need to play, but what do you think about that combo?
See, I really like it. I think that there are similarities from an NBA perspective to what like Pat Gungba and Boozer brought, right? Because Boozer, I think the big key is that he needs a rim protector. You can't really play him at the center position, right? You need him to be at the power forward spot, and you need to have like a real guy who can protect the rim next to him. I think he and Edey are going to absolutely dominate the glass. They're going to win the possession battle most nights, almost every single night, just because of those two being there. The key is like if Edey learns to shoot, and he's already started to like really experiment with knocking down like corner threes and stuff. Obviously, you want him like screening and rolling to the rim, but like I love the way that this roster sets up for, I guess, to really attack the versatility that makes Cam Boozer so special. Like they have the guys like Ty Jerome, like Cam Spencer, who you'll be able to run like ghost actions with Boozer as the ball handler and them screening, right? You'll be able to run the 4 or 5 ball screens where it's just like, okay, Zach Edey is out here at the perimeter. The 4-man is now away from the rim. So he's not going to be the one tagging Edey. It's probably a smaller body on the weak side tagging Edey on his roll, which just isn't going to go well, right? So I think that architecturally, it's going to be pretty good to me. Like, I think it's going to work really, really well.
I think it gets serious fast. Maybe I'm getting a sneaky feeling that this could get real faster than people realize.
I think
Granted,
so
the West
too.
is really good. Like it's going to be a tough kind of entry price. I'm seeing here that Jake Fisher's tweeting that they're going to keep BYU guard Richie Saunders. So we already talked about Saunders. So there we go.
Wonderful.
We got ahead of it. Got ahead of it there.
Just a terrific player. Richie Saunders is a really good basketball player. He's the best player remaining on my board. I ranked him at number 26 pre-draft. Like we said, just a really terrific shooter at the end of the day who does a little bit more than that. Like he is actually pretty good defensively, in my opinion. He has great hand-eye coordination, average 1.7 steals per game, but also does a really good job of communicating. He doesn't blow coverages. He's really good at closing out to shooters on balance. He's strong enough with his chest to body them up, keep them in front. The key here is he's coming off of a torn ACL that he suffered in February. I would imagine that there was some sort of agreement here with Memphis, given that Memphis has dealt with priority before. Priority is Richie Saunders' agency. They have Cam Spencer. I can't remember if they had Santi Aldama, if they continue to have Santi Aldama. I think they don't have Santi Aldama anymore, but Aldama was with them when they drafted Aldama. A few other guys have been there. Like this is a like agency and a team that generally have a positive relationship. And I can't, imagine a circumstance like Ty Jerome is priority. Brandon Clark was priority. I can't imagine that there's not some sort of discussion here on what this will look like, both how he starts and like where he moves into the future with his contractual situation.
Yeah, I mean they tend to have a pattern of like low fuss players. Like their priority does in this draft. They have been at Sturts, and they have Braden Smith. Just a lot of workman, sort of serious. I know workman is the white guy cliche, but Richie is just very fiery and competitive. So I think any kind of gaps that come up that he's going to have to overcome, I see him overcoming those. And he's a good interview. I've talked to him. I've met him before in person, and he's just a good human being. So that's a good culture ad for them. It kind of trending, going in that direction that they went with Boozer. So I think it makes sense organizationally there.
So we're up to 33 now. This is going to be, I think, Minnesota, right? I think we're still on Minnesota here. I would imagine that they probably, I mean, look, like they could very easily mine this point guard group that is, Braden Smith or somebody like that. Ryan Conwell, who's more of an off guard. They could take an Emmanuel Sharp. Maybe they go for a Malik Thomas. I know that by and large, like under Tim Connolly and Matt Lloyd, they have tended to draft younger players for the most part. Think Leonard Miller, Josh Minot, taking risks on guys like that. Rob Dillingham, obviously. I would guess that it's probably going to be more in that. Like if they took Malik Thomas, that wouldn't blow my mind. But they could also move this pick. I think all these picks are available to be moved is kind of the thing. So we'll just have to kind of keep track of that as we roll tonight. But look, I can just about guarantee you this, Kyle. Memphis will be one of my big draft winners. I will give them an A. Yeah, they will have an A draft for me because they just took Saunders. That's 3 guys that I have as first round grades that they're going to end up with. And on top of the 5 additional second round picks that they've acquired, this is a great draft for the Memphis Grizzlies to me.
Yeah. I ended up having Richie at 34 on my final board, but he's appealing for all those reasons. I was curious with the Wolves. I mean, Meleek feels, I know they took a flyer on Bones and brought him in as just sort of this balls to the wall scorer that you kind of have to create some guardrails for. Meleek strikes me. I'm curious where you stand on Meleek, where I see some sculptable things because everybody that I talk to, they're like, Meleek means well. He wants to improve. He wants to get better. I have just kind of a cautious optimism about him. I'll be curious to see. Well, let's see. Yeah.
So they're going with Isaiah Evans, which also tracks a little bit for me for what it's worth for Minnesota. Big time shooter, 6'6". We'll get to Meleek when he gets drafted.
Sure.
Isaiah Evans, last guy in my top 35. He was 35th for me. 6'5.5", 186 pounds, 8'8" standing reach, very high release and awesome shooter off of the catch. Drilled 37.7% of his threes this year, 42.9% last year. A very, very, very real movement shooter. You can fly him off of all sorts of crazy actions. He can catch off of flares and knock down shots. They loved running like an inverted Boozer Evans ball screen this year where Evans would slip out of it. That's exactly right. I think he got better as a ball handler this year. Like last year, it felt like he really couldn't even put the ball on the deck at all. This year, he was at least like capable of putting the ball on the deck and like attacking a closeout here and there. Look, I would say that by and large, this is more the range that I thought Isaiah Evans should have been drafted in, though, because he's just very skinny and he is like absolutely atrocious on defense to me. Just serious limitations in terms of pretty high hips, struggles to deal with bumps when he's on the ball. Guys can kind of go through his chest. Was a guy that gave like good second and third efforts when attached to screens, but like as soon as a screener bumped him, he was just out of the play. And then like his like engagement off the ball was really hit or miss. Like it was really, really bad. So not great. Not great defensively, I didn't think. And then not a great passer either. He is one of the worst passers in the draft class by and large.
Oh, yeah. I had this pulled up the other day. Isaiah Evans' assist to usage is incredibly low, 0.33, which is 10th percentile among guards across the country. So this is a guy who's, and granted, some of that is, the vision for him is that he gives, gravity assists. You can't over scrutinize these guys because they're not necessarily expected to operate that way. But Evans, as they were without Caleb Foster, they had some availability issues down the stretch of the season. You started to see they'd get into some of these late clock situations where the water had been kind of shut off in terms of their movement because they had lacked guard, play. And Evans kind of turned milk into butter on many occasions for them and made some tough shots. So he's a pretty competitive player too, like you said, but yeah, very upright. I was going to bring up the off-ball navigation too. That's something he's going to have to work on.
Malik Thomas is the pick here at number 34 for the Cleveland Cavaliers. So we are starting to just buzz guys off the board here. This is, I have one player left now in my top 34 or so. No, two players left in my top 35. Henri Vesar and Emmanuel Sharp. Just a real shooter with Malik Thomas. Like, can really fire from three. Terrific shooter and scorer. Just an absolutely wild decision maker, Kyle. like a completely wild decision maker. Defensively, I think he was the worst ball watcher in this class. Just like seemed like he would get distracted by a shiny object in the stands and would stop paying attention to what was happening sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, just drove me crazy.
And it was a really funny juxtaposition with him and Acuff next to each other, because there were definitely a lot of moments during this past year where Evans would make a just wild decision because he's been so empowered in the past that the moment, the sort of standard of what's a good shot, what's a good pass, what situationally is smart, he was a little slower to those things sometimes, whether that's just from the freedom of playing with OTE, speculate about that however you want, but he would come over to the bench and do the George Costanza, was that wrong? Should I not have done that? There was a lot of that kind of stuff. But overall, man, I mean, just in terms of pure just scoring ability, man, he shoots one of the prettiest balls in the class. His ball has a gorgeous arc angle. He puts a lot of spin on it, a lot of swished makes. I know that seems like a just overly simple thing to observe, but he shoots a really, really pretty ball. I think one of the prettiest in the class.
Yeah, I would completely agree with you. It's just the problem is sometimes that this is one where you look at the turnover rate and you go, oh, like he had a 2.5 assist to turnover rate. He must be a good decision maker. And then you watch like some of the shot selection that he would take from time to time from the mid range, and you would be like, what in the world are we doing? Like, why is that your choice? Why are you making that decision? Look, he can really fire the ball. And if you're able to like streamline his thought process in terms of basketball, like, I'm all for it. And I think that there's a real potential here. He's a real offensive microwave off of the bench potential player. But I think that there's some work to do is maybe the way to put it. There's quite a bit of work to do in this respect. And now we're up to 35 with the Denver Nuggets. I think Kyle, are you back? You might be struggling a little bit there connection.
I think my connection might be a little bit choppy.
Kyle's connection is a little bit choppy. I can hear you. Do you got me?
I think my son is streaming Ninja Turtles upstairs in 4K, so I might have to have him bump that down to 480, like I did when I was a kid. The other thing is, the book that you hear from other, coaches in the SEC. Are we here?
You're back here. The book from other SEC coaches. We got it.
We might be having.
All right, I'll keep talking while Kyle's figuring. Here. This is amazing.
I hear you more consistently now. I definitely think it's the Ninja Turtles.
This rules.
I'll wait.
Okay. Kyle, do you have me? Kyle does not have me. Oh. This is wonderful. We're live. This is Jesus what happens Christ. Sometimes. This is beautiful second round content.
SEC coaches just told me the book on him was like make him drive. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. You want to make him drive, close out, make him make decisions. That's the key. If you make him make decisions, it's probably going to be like a real question, I would say, as to whether or not he's going to make the right one. And the odds are the ball's just going up at the end of the day. If you make him drive, That ball is probably just going up, and the key is just to get a contest on the shot. Measured a little bit smaller at the combine than what people expected. I think he was listed at 6'5", came in at 6'3", 189 pounds, only an 8'4" standing reach. But Pittsburgh stand up, baby. We want Malik Thomas to be successful. We want all these kids to be successful. We especially want Malik Thomas to be successful. Shout out Pittsburgh. Shout out Malik Thomas. We're up at 35 now. This is the Denver Nuggets. Denver Nuggets are going to take.
You know what I heard? I heard like a huge silence, and then I just heard you come back and say, back. All right.
Oh my God. This is amazing. Okay. We've got Trevon Brazile going to the Arkansas Razorbacks. I didn't hear you. What did you say?
I was wondering if I needed to just pop off and pop back on, but I think we might have stabilized here. Maybe you look more.
We
stable
might have.
to me.
We might have stabilized.
No.
I think that might be what's going on. Are you good now? No.
Let me
Kyle,
reset.
pop on. Yeah, reset. Pop on and pop back on. I'll talk about Trevon Brazile. So, Trevon Brazile, interesting basketball player. Guy that is, so we're back-to-back Arkansas players. Lowest player on my board that's been taken. I ranked him at number 46, so I'm not like the biggest fan of this. If you put together a 3-minute highlight reel of Trevon Brazile's best plays from this season, I would tell you that I think you would see that he is like a guaranteed first-round pick. He might be a lottery guy if you just put together 3 minutes on the highlight reel. But when you watch him play full games, you just wonder like why the glue isn't really holding it together and like what's happening there. Why is there not more to this? Like he doesn't play with a crazy amount of urgency. He's quite skinny. He kind of gets bumped off his line a little bit too often. He's worth investing in like as a two-way guy to me. I see him more like that though. I don't really see like a guaranteed contract guy. Look, we're 23 years old and he was not a all SEC player is kind of the easiest way to put it. Did average, 13 points a game and 7 rebounds this year. Very active with stocks, very active with the ability to get into, Kyle, are we back? Kyle, are you back here? Do we have you? Did Kyle try to blow on the cartridge and put it back in? I think that'd be the plan here.
Did somebody ask if I tried blowing on the cartridge? No, I didn't.
Yeah.
I saw did Kyle try blowing? And I didn't know what that message said. I'm glad it's I think we might have stabilized. I hope so. That was quite a ride. Thanks for tolerating that. If you did. If you didn't, I would blame you.
We made it work. Kyle, give me Trevon Brazile thoughts. We have not stabilized. We have not stabilized, folks. Let's
I'm at a loss.
Let's see if we can
alrighty here.
Let's see what we got here for Kyle. We are struggling, folks, with Kyle. Do you have thoughts on Trevon Brazile?
Yeah, I'm really sorry. This never happens. We literally went live on Netflix in 4K last night, and I didn't have problems, so I don't know what's going on with this.
This is amazing.
Yeah.
Kyle, do you want to turn off your video and see if that helps? Let's see. Kyle, do you want to turn off your video to see if you can, or just turn off the camera?
Yes. Hold on, I will.
Okay.
Let's see if that helps us get back up to speed here.
That might help. Kyle, can you hear me?
I hear you. Yes.
Oh, there we go. We're back, baby. Give me some Trevon Brazile thoughts.
Oh, boy. I think if you just watch Trevon Brazile run up and down a court and there's no ball out there, you'd be like, that's an NBA 4. If he has runway to take off, He almost seems like he's more athletic than before he tore his ACL. If he has a set shot, he can make a three. He is just like Maleek. God bless Darius Acuff this past year, because he was on a team where he was the only dude who could make a decision. I'm sure there were times people wondered why Darius's usage was so high. There was no oxygen for him to breathe. He was just at all times up at the top of the tank, just trying to breathe whatever air that he could, because his team, there was just no other passer on the team. Sam, I was joking with somebody else. I was like, was Malik Ewan the second best passer on that team this year? It was crazy.
Yeah, I mean, he really might have been, to be honest with you. There was just nobody who could make any sort of passing read, any sort of play. It was really frustrating to watch Arkansas at times. And like a lot of the time, the defenders were just kind of like, hey, I see something in the stands, I'm not going to pay attention. It was very strange. It was very, very strange to watch them.
Mm-hmm. But right. Brazile's somebody that I thought somebody could get something out of him. I've thought that for a while because he's got a lot of tools.
Yeah, him with Jokic could work. Like, I could see a way that is decent, but yeah. We have 36 here, Kyle. Baba Miller.
Yeah, baby.
Has gone off the board. Are you a Baba Miller guy?
I'm a Baba Miller optimist. Yeah, I think he kind of, speaking of sanity, I think he brought some to his game this past year. He just kind of disabused himself of what he thought he was when he came into the league. He was originally just this big, 6'11" wing, and we were like, oh, this is going to be fun. This guy shoots threes, passes the ball, and he kind of just inverted his attack and where his shot diet came from. And as a result, his efficiency exploded. You saw him just be like a little bit less of a volume attempter of shots. And I say all that to say, and I'll tack on that I actually think he has some shooting upside. Like, I think he could get to a point where he's pretty tolerable, smart defender. Where are you on Baba?
Yeah, I think the defense is where it starts for me. I think that there is a chance where he could be like a really high level, like ground coverage defender who flies around and, is able to just like, almost play that like Jaden McDaniels-y kind of vibe on defense, right? Where he just takes up space, hopefully able to close out well on defender or on shooters. Can kind of switch a little bit. For being as big as he is, I definitely would say he can switch, but like 9'3" standing reach, obviously. But it's like hit or miss from time to time. Big time rebounder, 10.3 rebounds per game this year, 2.4 offensive rebounds. I'm not quite as high on the shot as you are, but I am really high on the passing. Like, I think he has really terrific vision.
Yes.
Yeah. What do you like so much about the passing?
I think he has some of the best passing craft for the fours in this class, the bigger forwards. He's really creative with how he can pry open windows and can pass it pretty well with both hands. He has nice kind of flexion in his wrists. I've seen him make some passes from like one short corner to the opposite corner and just on a dime. I think that combination of tolerable shooter, versatile defender, I just think you start adding up things that net out at like a role player. Like, he could be a useful role player, I think.
We have a question for you, Kyle. Do we think that Bill sent the internet kill switch to stop you from cheating on the Ringer?
I don't know. I could ask Bill if he did that. He's a powerful man. Maybe he did that. Yeah.
Sent it all the way to Kentucky. Just the kill switch. You gotta love it. The people are loving you in the comments. Kyle the GOAT. Love this duo. Happy Spurs fan here. Shout out to you, Roach Red. Question here from B Navy. Do you think that Memphis will regret not drafting LeBaron Philon as opposed to taking Karim Lopez?
Do you think that the Spurs, or who is it? Rephrase the question. I just
Grizzlies.
realized they were comments. Sorry. Whoops. That's very distracting. I'm going to have to turn that off. The Grizzlies passed on LeBaron Philon instead of
they
who?
took Karim Lopez.
Right. Oh, I mean, me personally, I value LeBaron way ahead of Kareem, so I'm probably the wrong person to ask. I love LeBaron. I don't know if would you think that he would have been the move though? Is he a Memphis type guy to you?
Yeah, not really to me. I don't think he is. Like, the guys that I thought that they like, to me, it was always Koa. Like, if you're taking Karim Lopez, you just take Koa Pete to me on some level. Mm-hmm. But like, I don't know, man. Like LeBaron he's tough, man. Like he's a gamer. He's a fighter in a way that Memphis likes. I think the answer to this is probably no. But, I think there is a good shot LeBaron Philon will be a better player than Karim Lopez. Like I would have taken LeBaron Philon over Karim Lopez for sure. Will they regret it? Like insofar as you regret not drafting a better player? For me, yes, I would say. But, I understand what Memphis is doing here at least.
There are people. I mean, Lopez was interesting because as skeptical as I felt about him, like I looked at all the different areas where I was like, I just don't feel optimistic about this, that, the other. He is sort of a chaos. There is some balance and power for him through the lane that I could see if you could sort of harness that and build his game around that. You could see something positive happening for him. Oklahoma City's up and they take Conwell. There we go.
They've taken Ryan Conwell.
Yeah. They're going to keep him.
You are a Ryan Conwell fan, so please explain to me why you like Ryan Conwell.
I first became aware of Ryan Conwell because of a piece that I did on Indiana State a couple of years ago. Shouts to just the Indiana State people who built that roster. That was one of the crazier developmental things I've ever seen, that they just pieced together this thing that high majors came in and said, I want that, I want that, I want that. And Conwell was one of them. Conwell ends up at Xavier and just was a great high volume, above the break 3-point shooter. He's just gets it off quickly. Transfers to Louisville the following year. He got a little taxed, I think, as the initiator because Michael was so unavailable, and I don't know that they necessarily got as much out of Woolley as they would have liked. So we got the Ryan Conwell point guard experiment, which was bumpy at times. He mainly passes with his left hand. He's it was a little bit of a stress on him, but I think ultimately it'll be a good stress for him long term because he's going to need to learn some of those things and add some of those things to his game. But I kind of thought he has a lot of great cutting instincts too, and that was one of the things that I thought we got deprived of because he was being asked to do so much more with Louisville.
So let's see here. Oklahoma City is trading Ryan Conwell.
Yeah, what are they going to do?
We know that. Yeah, I mean, like honestly, them losing Aaron Wiggins, maybe losing Isaiah Joe, like I wouldn't have minded Conwell for them. But it looks like per Shams, they're sending Ryan Conwell to the Miami Heat for number 41 and for cash. So, okay.
I don't mind that.
It makes sense for the Heat because they're already hard capped too, which is what sending cash would do to you. So it's just like, all right, you already took back more in a deal than you needed to. So you are hard capped. You might as well just start sending out cash willy-nilly as it is. This is a home run for the Heat. Like, I think they probably roster him and like really play him, right?
I think so too. They need shooting. They need some. They have a lot of size. I mean, the 3, 4, 5. I think I heard you talking about the defensive connectivity between. Hopefully we'll get something out of Wiggins, but throw Mitchell in there. Norm will just have to kind of keep his head above water and survive. And then Bam and Giannis, they just need some accelerants on offense, guys that can hit movement shots. Conwell's going to do that. He's a mature player. I think I agree with you. I think he's going to be somebody that can interface with what Spoelstra wants to do. He obviously played in a high, like a lot of reads, quick, a high processing, demanding system all the way through college, every step that he took. So I don't think any of that's going to surprise him. So I think he'll interface well with the Heat.
I think that's right. 6'2" to 6'7" wingspan, 8.5 standing reach. This year, Conwell only shot 36% off the catch from three, but over the course of his final 3 collegiate years, Conwell was a 41.1% three-point shooter on 567 catch and shoot threes. So you are talking about like a real lights out three-point shooter here. Like he is a significant shooter. And that's the only way you can get up to 10 3-point attempts per game like he took this year, right? Like you have to have a quick release. You have to be able to fire that thing. You have to be able to get your feet set and knock it down. I had Conwell at 40. What I had some concerns about with Conwell was I didn't really think he was ever going to be able to create a shot for himself all that effectively. I was a little bit worried about the fact that he's a 30% pull-up shooter over the course of the last 2 seasons, the high major level, and like doesn't really have much of an in-between game. So I'm like a little bit worried about, okay, teams close out on him heavily. What is his answer? You know what I mean? Like, what is his answer to the test? Right.
I think a lot of that's been outsourced to this point. Like you were talking about, he's just been playing with bigs. That's why I thought the Nuggets would be a great fit for him, or just got teams that have passing bigs, just continue that trend. I think that's fair. I mean, I had people over the course of the process who were just like, is this dude just Desmond Bane hiding in plain sight? Because he's just older player, just quick trigger. His build, these longer arms than Bane. But yeah, I mean, he has some pretty wiggly, wide dribble box too. So if he can add some of that, maybe just some middle game to add it to be a little pressure release valve for his game, that would be nice. But yeah, the dribble pull up stuff is a little concerning, and he'd probably be going higher if he had that stuff really figured out.
I think that's right. Okay, number 38 here. The Pacers are trading for the 38 pick. And who do you think the Pacers are taking if they are drafting at 38, Kyle?
The Pacers. Who would they take? Well, it's going to be
it's the most obvious pick in the world.
Is it? Well, then who is it then?
It's Braden Smith. Out of Purdue.
Yeah, that's the hugest duh ever. Shame on me. Yeah. Smith fits with them. I thought for sure the Grizzlies might try to get Braden Smith. So, but yeah, I mean, he's that makes a ton of sense.
So 38th player on my board, 5'10" and a quarter, 6'3" and a quarter wingspan. He's only 167 pounds, but God damn it, Kyle. I think he's probably the best ball screen passer in the class, is the reality. I love the way, just like little things, like I love the way he sets up defenders before going around screens. He'll use these like hesitations, jab steps, feints to like drive his defender directly into the screener. And he does an amazing job of keeping his dribble alive. He's so good at using hostage dribbles. Man, just like he can find a pass from any angle and from any position on the court. He'll be like running downhill and throw like wraparound kickouts, like overhead wraparounds. He'll he just finds so many like downhill behind the back passes. He just is so good at finding the pocket. He's so good at finding these little angles and creases. Watching Braden Smith is so much fun.
Yeah, just an absolute technician. A lot like like I said about Wagler, but he's mastered those little nooks and crannies of the half court game because he's had to do that to survive. He just has like a late stage Chris Paul sort of pace to the way that he plays. He loves to get to the elbow and hit that shot. He took a ton of shots like that, and he's underrated as a catch and shoot player. I mean, he's had the reins for so long. It's kind of similar to Bennett Sturts a little bit too. That he can really hit those catches. Granted, he's smaller. That's going to be tough. So, but he's in the running for like smartest processor in the draft. I think like he's a very, very smart basketball player.
So we actually have the first player trade of the NBA draft so far, Kyle. Chicago is sending Braden Smith to the Indiana Pacers for Cam Jones, future second round swaps, and cash. Do you have any thoughts, Kyle, on Cam Jones, the former Marquette guard who didn't play a whole lot this year?
I was surprised. I mean, I thought Cam would be a good fit with the Pacers. I was a little surprised that we didn't, we failed to launch on that one because I thought he kind of was a prototypical guy that would excel in that system. What would you attribute that to? Because he missed time, right? He had a bumpy kind of in and out kind of thing going on.
Well, to me, the big issue is that in his last year at Marquette and then this year in Indiana, he just kind of forgot how to shoot is the thing. Like he was a 31% 3-point shooter in his senior year at Marquette. And then he only made 29% of his threes this year. And if he's not a shooter, he's not an NBA player. It's just kind of the reality of the situation. You know what I mean?
Takes the wind out of the sails for sure. I tried to turn my video back on. We'll see. Because you were smoother. I don't know. We can try this. Boy. If comedy ensues again.
We might be back, Kyle.
We'll abort. So why would you say that? I don't know if there was a way for me to like have pixelated like 8-bit Sam. That's the only way my internet will handle this for some reason. So yeah.
It's amazing. So we're back with Kyle. We got Kyle on the screen. Yeah, look, like if Cam Jones can't shoot, he's not an NBA player. I probably would rather have Braden Smith at this point based off of what we've seen from Cam Jones. Going to go back and look at where I had Cam Jones ranked last year. I'm actually not even sure, to be honest.
I feel like I had
you.
40s. What do you think about the pace of Braden with Halliburton? Is that just like an off-speed pitch that they can throw if they need to slow down? Or because Braden's never played that fast. They've, perennially been low in the pace department because of the way they love to play through bigs.
It's a really good point, but I actually think that he's an awesome transition passer with like hit aheads and things like that in a way that will work for them. You know what I mean?
But the shorter clock, the on it, off it, like, Halliburton will get off it early and then come off. I'll be curious to see how much he's capable of that. I think it's just he's never really played that fast.
Yeah. So number 39, this is, I think, staying with the Knicks. We'll find out. This is going to be Jack Kyle, I believe, out of Germany.
Is that how you pronounce it? I thought it was Kayil, but Kyle that works. Okay.
Yeah, Jack Kyle.
Is this my new favorite player?
Jay Kyle. Have you watched much of Jack Kyle?
Yeah. I have watched him. Where did he end up on yours? I had Jack at 35.
So I had him at 41. And the reason I ended up with him at 41, he's like kind of a jack of all trades, like kind of master of none, it felt like to me. He's like a good, not great passer. He's excellent at attacking closeouts, right? He's a confident shooter. Like I'll say that. Like you look at the numbers, they were a little bit up and down for sure. But like more than that, he's just like kind of physical too. Like he only weighs 190 pounds, but he looks like he weighs more than 190 pounds, doesn't he, Kyle?
Yeah, I if I'm remembering from our guide, I talked a lot about how he is a little like snaky, evasive around the rim in a way where I think he's going to have to retrain his brain to hit people and sort of plow with those last two steps. That's not an unusual thing for young players to encounter. So his rim percentage, if I remember correctly, took a big ding on that one. But I agree with you. He's well rounded. We're waiting for the thing to sort of pop. That'll make him, more than just sort of a like hold the fort, hold the line guy that you can throw out there. But you kind of wonder too if he's going to be lukewarm, is he going to? What kind of imperative do you think is there for him to kind of develop an elite skill, and what do you think it would be?
I think he's going to have to shoot it. I think the ball skills are good enough to where if he is able to shoot it at a high level, he'll be able to weaponize the ball skills, right?
Yeah.
If he doesn't shoot, like, I don't think he's ever going to be like a true lead guard, but they've had like the Knicks have had some reasonable success with guys in the Deuce McBride mold, right? Like, I think that you can find a way to make this work. Kyle is also like 6'3.5". He has an 8'5" standing reach. You can get away with playing him next to Jalen Brunson if that's your vision down the road. I'm fascinated to know about, like, is this a two-way bet? Is this a stash? Like, what is their plan for him? Like coming in down the road here, I think we'll probably find that out at some point, but I don't mind the pick here. This is right around where I had him. I understand what they're going for, but to your point, only took 1.4 shots at the rim in half court settings per game and only made 48% of his layups. So, to your point on the struggles finishing, I think that's pretty real.
A lot of nights in Westchester, I expect for Jack, but
or in Berlin.
It could be another season in Berlin. So we got Dillon Jones coming off the board here to Boston.
Dillon Mitchell is coming off the board
Dillon
Boston.
Mitchell, not Dillon Jones. Yes, correct.
Does this feel Boston-y to you?
Boston has my kind of calibration of like this works. It's getting a little Spursy with Boston for me, where I'm like, there's obviously Dillon is a very graceful, explosive athlete. You and I have talked about like no low jumpers. Like he's just really quick off of his feet. He shows some passing chops, and we've seen this archetype of player come into the league with like the Thompson twins being like the apex and sort of the indicative kind of emblems of like, does this work? Can you make it work? And this is the best version of it. Dillon's shot doesn't seem like as broken. But it honestly still might be a total rebuild. Like it's rough.
I don't think he's ever going to shoot. I'll just say that. You know, he went like 1 for 17 or something from 3 this year, 49% from the line. Like, I think he's just one of those guys where he just doesn't have the natural touch. Like, those guys exist, right? And you can kind of do whatever you want. And when bodies are flying at you at speed in the NBA, you just kind of can't get the mechanics down in the way that you want them to.
They did a good job. I think Zuby sort of emerging as a playmaker this past season really helped Dillon. But in the open court, man, I mean, there are mineable traits there with him. But like you were saying, like if he can't shoot it at wide open at the college level, like at the speed of that, it's gonna be a tall task. So he's gonna have to figure out ways to survive.
If you were the Celtics, would you trust Dillon Mitchell playing as a small ball center next year, like real minutes, over Chris Sinak, or would you trust Sinak over Mitchell?
Oh my God. Where did you end up with Sinak though? Because I was
25.
Okay, I was lower. Yeah.
It's just like a total project with Sinak. Like you can see the way that it works. He can shoot the ball. He's massive. And like you see him in person, like he is built like a massive human being. It's just that, you know, he's not ready to play in the NBA.
There are more paths to glory for Chris than there are for Dillon, as much as I enjoy Dillon. It's a developmental bet. It really is. And it's Sinak, God, to answer your question, I think I'd trust Sinak to figure it out a little bit more because he just has, of course, granted self-creation. I mean, Dillon can like drive a closeout. He can drive a straight line. Yeah. You know, Chris is going to need to prove that. Yeah. So,
yeah. We probably haven't talked about Dillon Mitchell's best skill, which is that he's like an awesome defender. Like he can really, really defend at a high level. But we have a pick from the home state of Kyle Mann. We've got Otega Oweh going to the Oklahoma City Thunder at 41, it looks like, because this is the trade that occurred with Oklahoma City a few minutes ago. Otega Oweh. Let me know what you think, Kyle. You've seen him more than most people have.
This is kind of funny. I don't know if OKC what they're planning on doing here, but the terms of like the live ball economy that OKC tries to dominate in the NBA, they like want to win. I always call it the hungry hippo thing, where it's like if in the possession game, we're gonna have disruptive guys who create 50-50 ball situations, who can are physical, switchable. Otega definitely fits that mold. I mean, he had more pick sixes among like Kentucky players that he always was trying to get pick sixes and go the other way and score. He's a very physical downhill driver. In the half court, he can find paths to the rim and like take contact and reposition his body, change his path, trade his driving line and get to the rim. I think that he has some upside. I really do. I had him actually a little bit higher than consensus. I had him at 42 here, which, you know, close where he ends up getting picked. The shot is weird, but better than you would think. It's extremely hitchy. You wouldn't think that it would work. He's got a little bit of a dribble pull-up game that I don't love. And every time he took the shot, I literally said out loud, don't love it. Don't love it. And, you know, so Otega is not a lead guard. He was stressed to be one this past year after they were like running a ton of like zoom action with like cutting and things like that. When he had those open driving lanes, he was awesome. I think if you kind of put him in as like a role, like a not even a tertiary, he's like an extra role player who is just very, very physical getting downhill. His brother is like a defensive end in the NFL. So give you an idea of what kind of athletic pedigree he has. I think Otega could succeed as an NBA player. I think he has a lot of defensive upside.
We have a player trade again, Kyle. And this one's actually important.
Okay.
The Detroit Pistons are trading Isaiah Stewart to the Memphis Grizzlies for 3 future second-round picks, sources tell ESPN. The Pistons clear Stewart's salary and pick up assets, while the Grizzlies acquire a 25-year-old rugged front court piece. I mean, Kyle, just a home run for me again for the Grizzlies. Like, this is the exact guy that they want. They want to be tough. They want to be physical. If you're going to have a third big man that works with Cam Boozer and with Zach Edey, who can potentially play with both of them, it's definitely Isaiah Stewart, in my opinion. And on top of it, if you're going to employ Zach Edey on your basketball team, you really need somebody who is able to play as a backup center. Like, you desperately need a very real option there. And I think Isaiah Stewart's been the best, if not the best backup center, because Mitchell Robinson exists. Isaiah Stewart's probably been the second best backup center in the NBA over the course of the last couple of years. I love this. I absolutely love this for the Memphis Grizzlies. And for Detroit, it just depends on who they get in free agency. It's very clear they're trying to clear space in some respect. Like, are they trying to go out and get Kobe White? Are they trying to go out and get Norm Powell? Like, it's an incomplete grade for the Detroit Pistons until we know who the guy is that they feel like they've gotten now that Austin Reeves is off the table for them. But I love it. You know, I think this is the right price for Isaiah Stewart for the Grizzlies. And, you know, he has a very favorable contract. I think he has a team option next year as well. So this is awesome. I am a big fan.
You add, you know, the grit, and this is a guy who 76% of his minutes were played at center, like you were saying, this past year. So you can throw him out there at the 5, and he just adds that you've stabilized you kind of have a fire and ice thing going on with Boozer and Stewart. That's really fun, and playing them together, I could see being pretty entertaining, and a little insurance in case Edey, you know, misses time, things like that too.
Well, it's the big thing for me. And on top of it, like, it feels like Memphis wants to have like a really strong culture organizationally, right? They want to build like culture first along with skill, bring in like great people. And I get it that people like look at Isaiah Stewart from the outside and they're like, oh man, like he just loses his temper all the time. Like, he is what he is. If you talk to people around the Pistons, if you talk to anybody who's ever been around Isaiah Stewart, they speak remarkably highly of him as a teammate. They will tell you he's like incredibly thoughtful. Like, he's just a good dude to have around. I love this in general. And plus, like, I'm going to be honest, I think he's one of the 15 or so best defenders in the league on a per minute basis. Now, the like knee issues cause some problems for him here and there. But when he's out there and when he's able to play 20 to 30 minutes a night, he could make an all defense team. Like, he is capable of that.
Yeah, he's able to play up the chain too. I think he has a 7'4" wingspan, if I'm not mistaken. You know, just big, rugged, long arms, strong, mobile, great defensive timing around the rim. He waits guys out and just eradicates shots. So it's a great ad for the Grizzlies.
Yeah. Okay, so we have a draft pick now. We've got Jacoby Gillespie, who has been selected by the Spurs. No indication of a trade. So I would imagine that this idea here is like a Jordan McLaughlin replacement, because McLaughlin is a free agent. What did you think of Jacoby Gillespie?
I had Jacoby at 53. I mean, the main kind of selling point with him is just lethal dribble to shoot speed. He's a little small. I think he measured barefooted at 5'11", which was one of the reasons I kind of pulled him down a little bit out of my top 50. But he had some stretches this past year in the SEC where he was, I mean, arguably the best like dribble pull-up guy out of pick and roll, out of just he forces high pickup points. That's sort of the selling point with him, as he can put the ball in the basket.
Yeah. I will also say this, like, to me, another big selling point for Gillespie here is like, he's, you know, we talk about winning the possession game now all the time in the NBA, right? Like, it's a huge factor. You got to win the possession game, got to win the possession game. I think he really helps you win the possession game. He's a low turnover, high steals point guard, has really good hands, big time, like fearless shot maker as well. You know, you can look at the 34% from three mark and have some concerns, but he drilled 39% of his catch and shoot threes this year. He was taking some absolute fucking grenades on that Tennessee team. Like, anytime they needed a bailout shot, it was him, like, that had to take it. He took 236 of his 305 three-point attempts this season from NBA range per synergy and made those at a 35% clip, despite a lot of them being grenades. really tight handle, like you said, kind of bursts in and out of the driving lanes, low to the ground. I think in general, like plays really hard on defense with a high motor. He's just like teeny tiny, right? Like he's 5'11" with a 6'4" wingspan and a 7'11" standing reach. So, look, he's a winner. He's one of those guys where if you go back through his history, right, helped his high school to a state title as a junior, helped his high school to a state title as a senior, and was named state tournament MVP. He won Mr. Tennessee basketball, or Mr. Basketball Tennessee, helped Belmont win, helped Maryland make the tournament last year and was their second best player, like helped Tennessee this year as frankly their best player ahead of Nate Ament, right? Made the Elite Eight, made the Sweet 16 with Maryland. Like he's just kind of a winner. He's a winner at the end of the day. And I'm good with teams betting on winners, is these like kind of outlier players in terms of size.
Yeah, you're betting on people at some point. I think that's an underrated part of the draft for sure.
Yep. Okay, so we've got the Brooklyn Nets coming up here at number, what are we on, 44 maybe?
43.
43, great. The Brooklyn Nets have selected, according to Mark Tatum, Tyler Bilodeau. Let's go. Are you a Tyler Bilodeau guy?
I understand Tyler Bilodeau optimism. He's an interesting. I'll tell you, he reminds me of a guy that played for Kentucky in the late 90s, Scott Padgett. That's kind of who he reminds me of.
I thought you were going to give me a Derek Willis vibe. Come on.
Oh no, he's way more physical than Derek Willis.
Yeah.
No, I mean, this is a guy who big time shooter at high volume. I mean, he gives you a little pick and pop. He gives you he can stretch and catch and shoot. It's got kind of a slow motion, really high release point. But he mixes in some maybe Luka Garza as a little bit more of an analog, I guess, because he's just this polarity of crafty kind of YMCA post game, and he can shoot the ball. Yeah. How do you feel about Tyler Bilodeau?
So I went to see Tyler Bilodeau work out in LA a few months ago, and man, do you know when you watch those shooters where it just looks right? Like everything looks right mechanically. And it's just like, man, the rhythm, the tempo, the way it comes out of his hand, the rotation on the ball, like that's Tyler Bilodeau, right? Clean shot prep and footwork, great weight transition from the lower half to the upper half. Ball comes out of his hand with great rotation, nice high release point. And he drilled 46% from three this season and 43.8% total from three over the last two seasons. If you leave him open, he's going to kill you from three. Efficient three-level scorer. Showed some touch at the rim, really good off-ball mover. There's just some athletic limitations here, obviously. Like he doesn't move wildly well. And if he's going to be able to stick in the NBA, he's going to have to maximize his footwork defensively. It's just the reality.
Yep. Going to have to work on the body, on the moving and things. I mentioned the pick and pop. Yeah. Only 31 attempts, but 45.2% on pick and pop threes this year. So he can give you that. So for the record, Memphis is trading the same 3 second-round picks that the Grizzlies received from the Pistons last night back to Detroit in order to land Isaiah Stewart. So basically, the deal last night was they go from 16 to 21, and they take back Isaiah Stewart. Yeah. That's a home run for the Grizzlies, I think. Nailing the draft, as they are apt to do. Yeah.
They just do very, very well. They do very, very well at this. It's just very funny. Like we couldn't have done this last night. Like we couldn't have done the Stewart thing, 16 to 21. Hey, we'll just attach Isaiah Stewart to you guys and move up 5 spots. Like, doesn't that make more sense than doing multiple deals?
Yeah. What do you think about Bill? Do you think Bilodeau has a chance to make the Brooklyn? Did we do Bilodeau give him enough of his Bilodeau? Is he being aptly respected here?
So I know that at some point Adam Spinella is going to watch this. Shout out to Adam, who is in the draft room right now with the 76ers. I love Adam. I know Kyle and I are both friends with Adam. He's going to hear you say, did we give him his Bilodeau? And he's going to text both of us and be like, I've never been more proud of you, Kyle.
He sends me a lot of jokes, and my uniform response is "You're dismissed." So a lot of I've been a dad longer than Spinella, and he's more of a dad than me. So that's impressive work by him. Yeah.
So good, absolutely so good. Yeah, look, like with Bilodeau, anytime that you average like 18 points a game in the Big Ten, like you clearly have some game. I think it's just really hard to find players who have like a 9-foot standing reach who have the level of touch that Bilodeau does. Like it is exceptionally difficult to find those guys. And, we'll see if it works out in the end. But
it's hard to have arms that long and have like a nice launch angle. That's one of the miraculous things about Wemby too, that I think gets overlooked is it's just tricky. You look at Mikal Bridges and how much trouble he's had over the years, just trying to, getting his shot with his arms. Yeah. It's an impressive thing.
There's a lot more moving parts at the end of the day, like with guys that are that big, like the shot to get that kind of launch angle, like you say, like you really have to move your arm like backward almost. And it can be tricky.
Back over. Yeah. It's not easy.
Yeah.
Do we have a report? I thought somebody just texted me that Maliq Brown is connected to the Spurs here at this next pick at 44.
Wouldn't stun me. Okay, let's run through some super chats here while we're here. Shout out to D-Rock in Brooklyn. My Brooklyn Nets are getting crushed by the local national media for passing on box office A-Cuff. Michael Brown looks like a safe winner. A-Cuff is a wild card. No? Question mark. My answer to that is I disagree with that characterization. I would have taken A-Cuff over Michael Brown. Like, I'm not going to like destroy the Nets when I do draft grades by any stretch. I have them in the same tier. Like, I understand what they're doing. It's just like, I very clearly have A-Cuff ahead, and I think A-Cuff is much better at making decisions. I think that his overall game off the bounce is just like a little bit cleaner. And I think he's just way more physical, honestly, than what Michael Brown is.
Yeah. I mean, in terms of he doesn't have the length and the size that Michael has, but A-Cuff definitely is more. And I had A-Cuff, or I had Michael Brown. It is Maliq Brown as the pick for the Spurs, but I had Michael at 12. I just think he's been mischaracterized as what type of player, his player archetype. I just never saw him as like a heavy usage ball dominant kind of guard. I think he's probably a scorer that you have, we were talking about how like the Simons thing was interesting to me because he was watching the highlights and the comps and he was getting excited about the Simons thing. And I was like, it's kind of interesting that the way that's how he sees himself. Like if I was, I just, he's a super, super talented player. I understand if you're the Nets thinking like the shiny upside of the live dribble passing, live dribble shooting stuff of Michael, the kinetic kind of way that he plays. He's just erratic. Like I worry about his shooting consistency. I worry about his turnover prone. I worry that he's going to be an epic target. That's something that I heard from scouts around the league, like defensively, that he's going to have to answer that question. So you add all those things up, and it was just a little too volatile for me.
I also think he's probably going to be a target defensively. Let's talk about Maliq Brown because I love Maliq Brown. I had Maliq Brown at 36. I know that Maliq Brown is your guy. Did you end up putting Maliq Brown in your top 30?
32. I was so tempted to do it. Best defensive hands in the whole class. I really think it's hands down. Didn't mean to do that pun, but I mean, Maliq is an incredible time. Like he would bait guys. I had this in our guy that he would bait players into moving the ball to where he could swipe it away. He's smart. He's strategic about it. I think his processing off the ball is phenomenal. Cannot score, does not want to score, will not look. He's like a nervous kid at like a recital who is just like the crowd's over there. He won't look at the rim at times, but he's managed to survive in some like high functioning offenses for Duke. He can really pass the ball. It's you saw him work out. Go take the baton there. You had some comments about his shooting I thought were interesting.
Yeah, so like they think he might be able to shoot at some point. I'm skeptical just because like he's never really done it in games, right? And I've kind of said that. He like took a couple at Syracuse or whatever, but I think that he's just a very low usage scorer at the end of the day. If he could ever make threes, he's definitely an NBA player. I completely agree with you on the hands. It's just so scheme dependent. Like there are going to be coaches that just have no idea what to do with Maliq Brown. And there are going to be coaches that are like, oh yeah, I know exactly what to do with Malik Brown, right? Is he staying with the Spurs? Like, is that the plan? Just because the only reason I ask that is like, they've now taken 3 guys that are centers in Jaden Quaintance, Terrace Reed, and Malik Brown, which is kind of interesting.
Very interesting. The Kings just picked Emmanuel Sharp. I think we could probably go to that. But yeah, I mean, I had moments where I thought Maleek might just be the next Robert Covington, just the way he plays. I'm a big fan of Malik Brown.
So Emmanuel Sharp is my second to last guy that I gave a guarantee grade to. Emmanuel Sharp's just one of my favorites in this class. He is an awesome defender, an all Big 12 level defender. That's the word I'm looking for here. Really just an awesome, like disruptive defender with his hands, has good hand-eye coordination, anticipates where the ball's going on defense. Like Houston very clearly teaches guys like on these like ball screen reverse pass situations that when they're trailing, just jump and put your hands up as wide as you can. And like Jamal Shed did it. Marcus Sasser did it. Now Emmanuel Sharp was the guy that did it all the time this year. He got so many deflections that way. He really just crawls into your space and tries to disrupt what you want to do. I am a huge fan of what he brings to the table in that respect. Drilled 39% of his 5 catch and shoot 3-point attempts per game. Exceptionally quick release. I am such a big fan of what Emmanuel Sharp brings to the table. It's just like pure 3-and-D guard, in my opinion.
Yeah, tough as shit. He's a really comfortable reload shooter. He would at times make me laugh because he would relocate to the left for an even tougher shot. It almost made me wonder if he has this like kinetic chain path in his body that's more comfortable if he like gets that single dribble, because he kind of angles his body funny too. I noticed this about Nick Martinelli, except it's to the left, but Sharp obviously a much better shooter. It's just a like plug and play, rotation kind of player in the NBA. Like he's additive, and he's very aggressive, like you said, and he likes playing defense, from what you could tell.
Yeah, I am a big fan. Like I really wonder if they'll give him like a guaranteed deal. Honestly, I would. That's
another culture pick for the Kings, Sam. That's another culture pick. Like that. What are they doing? What's going on? I don't know.
This is it. You take Darius Acuff. He's going to be like the sun that your organization kind of rotates around. It feels like, and then now you've gotten Caravan, who's an awesome, culture pick, who is just a pure winner. And now you've got a second, like pure winner in Emmanuel Sharp. This is going to be an A+ draft for me, for the Kings. Like that's honestly where I'm at with it. I think they've done exceptionally well so far.
And you couple that with Cardwell last year and then them taking Clifford, and all, you can kind of start to see a picture that makes sense outside of the odd older free agency and trade stuff that they've done.
Yep. Now we got another pick. Felix Okpara going to the Orlando Magic at number 46, 47, one of these picks. Going to the Orlando Magic.
You know this guy well.
He went to Ohio State, baby. Another Buckeye, even though he transferred to Tennessee. I don't blame anybody that transferred after the Holt era, though. Not because I dislike Holt. Holt is my guy, and I love him unconditionally. But Felix Okpara, excellent defender, like plays with an unbelievable motor, just plays so exceptionally hard. He's reliable on that end. You can play him in a ton of different ball screen coverages. Like he switched all the time this year at Tennessee. You can show and recover. You can play him in drop. He's actually big enough to play in drop coverage. Very simplistic offensive role. Like it is catch and finish.
We have an interesting little cluster with Rafael Castro, with Ugana Onyenso, and with Felix Okpara. They're an interesting Spider-Man meme. What do you think the logic is going with Okpara before going with those two guys?
So I think Okpara's frame is just way better. And honestly, I think he's a way better overall defender than those two are. Onyenso is the best rim protector of the group, but he's very high-hipped, very skinny. Going to be a problem in terms of like dealing with the physicality. I'm not really a Castro guy. I don't really understand that entirely, to be honest. Okpara though is 6'10", 7'2" wingspan, 9'4" standing reach, and really moves his feet incredibly well. Like grew up, playing soccer in Lagos in Nigeria, and then moved to the US in 2018. And you can see it in the way that he moves his feet, right? It really is just a matter of skill level, Kyle. Like, he's going to be able to guard at the NBA level, which means I think he's probably going to end up sticking as a third big in the NBA. It's just like, it's, you have to keep it to catch, throw the ball above the rim, catch and finish. I know that he made 4 threes this year, and I do know some people on the team side that have some level of like belief that that could be a thing at some point. But in general, my take here is that, it's really, we got to keep this. We don't want him putting the ball on the ground. We want him rolling to the rim, and we want him finishing at the rim.
Yeah, we're keeping it simple. I mean, yeah, it's all just sort of found money on the glass, catching it on cuts, just catch it, turn your head and dunk it. Can you do those things to survive?
Yeah.
So, Felix Okpara carried a pretty nasty high block percentage for pretty much his entire college career. So there are going to be some moments of just like people challenging him, not knowing who he is and learning, being like, commit that to memory. Okay, that guy, don't do it.
Yeah. Okay, so let's just like kind of run through who's left on the board here. Henri Vesar is my last guaranteed contract grade. We've gone
What's going
through
on
now. Yeah, I would
this?
imagine I'd imagine that Wasserman / the team has something set here that they're trying to filter him down to at this point. I don't know that. That's speculative. But I'm just guessing that at this point. I mean, look, like, and again, I'm speculating. I don't know what his medical looks like. He did miss like an entire season at Arizona. I don't know, like maybe that could be a thing. I don't know. We'll see. Like, I'm trying to, maybe I'll start texting around and seeing what's going on. But outside of Vesar, all of my top 42 players right now are gone in 46 picks. So 41 of my top 42 are gone in 46 picks. And the only guys left in my top 46 are Jaden Bradley, Isaiah Nelson, and I think Vesar. So we're at 43 of my top 46 players have gone within the top 46 picks.
Nice. That's a good percentage. We should tweet that out and put you at the top of the leaderboard, Sam. Give you your Bilodeau.
Yeah, right.
Right.
Yeah. I am interested in that, like getting the evals right, like that. Having these guys on my big board is like, hey, I don't really care about the mock. I care a lot more about, the mock being, it's just like a same game parlay, basically getting all the picks right. But the evals are good. Like I really enjoy hitting the evals. Okay, so Kyle Mann, just a shout out for you, Kyle, on the super chat.
What's up?
Love it.
C720L.
There we are. What went wrong with Jay Green, Poku, sort of giddy, KJM? I'm guessing that's supposed to say JKM. Do you have any opinions on what went wrong with? Let's talk about Poku. We'll take one of those. What went wrong with Poku? He was too skinny, is what happened.
Yeah, I want to be very clear. Poku is extremely talented. I will stay on that hill for the rest of eternity. Yeah, Sam's right. I mean, it's a little bit like Vrenz Bleisenberg-y, kind of like the guy who like flirted with the draft. I forget if that was like 2021 or whatever.
Vrenz signed here in the preseason with Southeast Melbourne and got cut before the end of the preseason.
Yeah. So he's a wild man. He is. No, I mean, Poku could pass, dribble, shoot at like 7 feet tall. He's just really, really skinny, and he was a little untrustworthy. Yep. I think that was another thing too. So that made for a lethal combination. And as I think his box plus minus just, I don't think it ever climbed above like -5. Like he was just too erratic and too wasteful. He was really talented, but he had Serbian League, Euro League written all over him. What league is he even playing in now? I don't even.
He was with Partizan at one point. I know that.
Okay.
So Orlando has traded Felix Okpara to Washington for 51 and 60. So Orlando will now have 2 picks coming up here, and Washington will have Felix Okpara. Makes sense to me. Like, go get a real backup big for Washington. I'm not a Tristan Vukcevic guy. I think he's not good enough on defense.
Right.
Productive on offense, but like just not quite good enough on defense.
It's just flip that trade off. Yeah.
Yeah, so like I'd probably rather have Okpara than him. We also have another pick. We have Tyler Nickel from Vanderbilt going number 47. This is just like pure movement shooter, right? He's 217 pounds at 6'6", 8'6.5" standing reach. So like movement shooter with size. We got Schmitzy and Dusty May on the board here, which is good. But yeah, it's, absolute sniper from distance. 41% of his catch and shoot 3-point jumpers this year, took nearly 7 of them per game, fires them off of movement. Like absolutely fires, drilled 36% of his shots off movement this season, 50% off of screens, which is like a bonkers number. Not fast, but he does an outstanding job of coming off screens and firing, just does it all in one motion, gets his feet set. Just an awesome shooter. The key is going to be, can he guard anybody? That's the question. Like he really takes pride on defense. Like I will give him that. Like he really tries. It's just going to be like, is he athletic enough to guard at the end of the day?
Yeah, I think he's going to have maybe a little shift of mindset. I was talking with somebody about just maybe taking more of the Caravan approach, because Caravan kind of straddles the same positional divide and has a similar body type. But Nickel is just a flat out pistol man, shoots the shit out of the ball. Near the tippy top of D1, 253s and to shoot at least 40%. So he was way up there on that front. He was lethal.
Toby Lawal has been taken at number 48. I mean, just a joke of an athlete. Like
I was going to say percentile 99th. I mean, he's up there with who competes with him on that front? Caleb, and I mean, it's like
crazy
stuff.
Trevon Brazile, maybe.
Yeah.
So Kyle, give me some thoughts on Toby Lawal, because I had Toby Lawal at like 67, so I have to write something real quick for The Athletic.
There's not a lot to comment on with the offensive game. I mean, I will say that the shot isn't like absolutely hopeless. It's that at this stage of the draft, that's kind of what we're doing. But he has the potential to be, you think that athleticism could sort of latch on to some defensive ideas. But like Sam said, this is a bet on just crazy nuclear athletic upside. He measured, I think he won out at the combine, and he go like 45 max vert. And like we were talking about with some guys, you don't see that translate necessarily to the tape, but you watch him in games. He always had a simplified role for them. It was like he's similar to Okpara in that it's like, hope you get a lot out of him on defense, keep it simple on offense, and maybe you can get him, keep his head above water and be efficient enough. Toby Lawal, crazy athlete.
Yeah. My issue is like, I didn't love the defensive instincts all the time. And I don't think he really has like the offensive firepower, really, like the offensive skill set to really make it work outside of the athleticism to me. But like, Toby Lawal going ahead of Henri Vesar is like the craziest thing on planet Earth to me.
Something is off about that, but I mean, the second round's a little different though, because I think, you're talking about like the second round with like ranking the players. It's not necessarily set up like that, since the way the deals are done. It's like, it makes you wonder if maybe Vesar is being strategically placed, like you were saying. I don't know that the public's awareness of that is always super high. Can you speak to that at all?
Yeah, so in the second round, a lot of the time, this happened with Tyrese Proctor last year, where Tyrese Proctor like filtered his way down to the Cavs because the Cavs were willing to give him a fully guaranteed contract for 2 years from the jump, right? Whereas everyone else saw him more as a two-way, right? And, the teams basically, in order to stay in good standing with the agencies, just decided, hey, like we're willing to let this pass. Like if they're willing to roster him, it's probably better for his career. It's better for everybody, right? If we do that and we only have a two-way. Now, like teams will go against that sometimes. Like a really good example of that is there were teams in AJ Mitchell's draft that were willing to like give him a fully guaranteed contract. And the Thunder were just like, no, we think he's way too good. We are taking him and we're going to give him a two-way. And like, we will make sure he has every opportunity, and we will work with like the representation to make sure that they're comfortable with everything that's happening here. And obviously for the Thunder, they were correct to do that because AJ Mitchell is very good at basketball. I would kind of operate in the way that the Thunder do personally, where you just take the best player, like take the guy that's highest on your board, work with the agency. Contract situations come up every year where you can make sure that, if you have to cut somebody, if an injury comes up and you get a special dispensation to sign somebody extra, like I feel like you can find those opportunities every time, every year, to where like you can be like, hey, look, I know he's going to be on a 2-way to start the year. Promise me, trust me, I will take care of him. Like we will make sure to take care of him. But not every agent believes it, because there are teams out there that don't handle their business properly, right?
I was going to ask you the good faith.
It says a lot.
Team.
Yeah. It says a lot about the Thunder that they're just like, the AJ Mitchell, representation was like, you know what? Yeah, we trust you. Like we believe in you that we're able to make this work. So that is what happens a lot of the time. And, we will find out if, it was worth it for Henri Vesar to fall or not.
If we assume that's what's going on, right?
If we assume that's what's going on, which I don't, to be honest, like I'm not 100% sure of it, but let's see here. Do we have?
I assume this is okay. Bryce Hopkins.
Okay. That is a player that, where did I have Bryce Hopkins on my board? Not wildly high, I don't think. 73. So we're into the 70s. I had Toby Lawal at 69. I had Bryce Hopkins at 73. We're like firmly into the 2-way zone here. I'm assuming that you can talk about Bryce Hopkins because I'm going to have to write something real quick for The Athletic, Kyle.
Bryce Hopkins, obviously long kind of college journey that I got to see him initially. He was one of the Cal recruits that kind of went south because Cal kind of refused to play him as a 4. I don't know if that was his people. I don't know what was going on with that, but Bryce Hopkins, I had him in the high 60s. He basically journeyed all over the place, ended up at St. John's. He's got a really sturdy frame. I don't think that he doesn't have the most mobile hips in the world, but he's very solid. Just rattled off really high steal percentages. He bought into the kind of the defensive philosophy this past year at St. John's and ended up being an asset for them. He's not like a knockdown shooter, but he's capable if he has a second to get it up, 36.3% on those looks. Other than that, I mean, I don't have a ton of other thoughts about Bryce Hopkins, to be honest with you. Where did you said you had him at 71?
73. Like, I like
73?
that he's aggressive on the glass. Like, he's really willing to go attack the glass. He's physical. He'll end possessions. In general, on like defense, I agree with you. Like, I don't think he moves his hips fluidly enough. And the key is the jumper. Like, he made 37% from 3 this season. If he makes 37% from 3, he has a chance to stick.
Low volume. I mean, the rate was, if you look at the numbers, almost all those are catch and shoots. I mean, weirdly shot better on guarded catch and shoots than he did on unguarded catch and shoots. So that's who he is, basically. He's not going to be like a self-creator in that sense. It's going to be rugged defense, hit the glass, make open shots. Well, did you have a comp for him? I don't even think we had one. Or
no, I certainly didn't. I mean, it's like a bigger body wing. It's almost like a skinnier Kobe Brown, something like that. Like
see that.
The Clippers, Missouri kind of vibe.
Kobe probably moves a little better than Bryce, but yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Can you play piano while you finish? I should have brought a piano.
Just typed.
Next year we'll do that. I'll plug up a synthesizer. Yeah.
From Jeff Gass, can you give me your review on the Steinbach pick for Charlotte, please?
Do you need a minute to write? I can talk about Steinbach.
No, go ahead. You're good.
This was something we joked a lot about on our streams last night because it is no joke. I mean, Steinbach is basically going to be like he's going to be an incredible pairing with Charlotte's philosophy and the offensive bend of their guards. If they're going to have this 3-point philosophy, I think that you are not going to. hemorrhage as many. You can embrace that shooting talent that you have and not hemorrhage possessions, because you're going to have one of the best rebounders in the class, one of the best offensive rebounders in the class. I mean, he's just one of those maddening positional dudes with big hands, long arms, wide shoulders, really hard to block out. Steinbach is, he's I compared him to like Sheway as a rebounding talent, but the difference was Sheway had like no other offensive avenues to his game. It was just like, I either catch the rebound and score, or that's kind of it. Steinbach has some offensive upside. I think he has some catch and shoot upside. Yeah. He can score in single coverage in the post. He adds a lot of things. So I think he kind of bolsters their identity in a really helpful way. I like that pick for Charlotte.
I do too. I mean, they've been really, really on killing the glass, right? Like, it's been a huge part of the Charles Lee identity. Like, they want to crash the offensive glass and they want to kill the defensive glass. And Steinbach fits like in a huge way. He's very skilled offensively, like Kyle said, in terms of his hands, right? Like, he can just catch in short rolls and can make things happen. He is able to, catch below his waist, catch above, his neck. He finishes above the rim reasonably well. He has good touch around the rim, right? The key is the shot. If he shoots it, he's like definitely a really valuable offensive NBA player. I think he's probably going to be a like 15 and 10 guy almost regardless, though. It's just so. Can the defense stick in some way, shape, or form?
Yeah, I mean, this past year, pick and pop 32.1%, and then he's never going to be like a volume. It's going to be a like, you all dared me to shoot this kind of a thing. I don't know he'll ever hunt threes, but he's going to just generate possessions. And I'm not a big playmaker, but I was saying on our thing, I was like, that doesn't really matter when you're winning the possession more the way Steinbach does.
Yeah, we've got Toronto Raptors selecting here at number 50. Let's see. I was trying to read Mark Tatum's lips. We might be getting a trade announcement.
Jaden Bradley. There we go.
Jaden Bradley, man. Just another guy that like fits the Raptors to a T, man. Super tough. Like, I really get frustrated by Jaden Bradley sometimes with his like willingness to stand up like straight defensively. And I think that at times like he can get himself out of position defensively, like more than you would think for a guy who's like an all defense player in the Big 12, right? Like, you want him to be better at getting through screens, but man, he is so competitive and tough and physical, and he really wants to pressure you. And with the Raptors being a team that really want to pressure you behind the half court line, I think that, picking up early, annoying teams as they try to get into their offensive sets, like, he ticks the Raptors boxes to a T in terms of what they're trying to build. On top of being a really good mid-range shooter, offensively, I'm not totally sure what he does, but he's just a gamer. He's fearless. Like, he wants the ball in the biggest moments. And, you can do worse if you're trying to draft a G League point guard, is what I would say.
Yeah, I was going to ask you what his paths to sort of contributing are, because he's really, really he's really heavily tilted towards the mid range here. Eagerly runs off the 3-point line, doesn't really take them, even though the percentage, if you just looked at it on paper, you'd be like, oh yeah, it's like 36.8. Yeah, that's workable, but wasn't really a great finisher inside the restricted area too. So I guess just kind of figuring out what paths to be functional on offense for him, because being like a 6'3" guard who really, really won't look at the rim and doesn't want to take them with the longer line too, you got to think those are going to be challenges, but it's not quite the same as like Jamal Shed, because Shed had more offensive things to kind of, use as a paddle early on. So I don't know. What do you think his pathway is to getting to climbing? Is it just the shooting, or I don't know?
Yeah, I think he probably will have to shoot at some point. To me, it's almost more like the passing and decision making a little bit more. He just is, the role at Arizona was he needs to create offense on some level and play a little bit more consistently on offense and be a scorer, right? I think that in general, it at times could be a bit irritating for him to watch him like miss open reads, because I felt like he knew where they were and just like wouldn't always hit them. That'll be what I'm watching for him in Toronto. And Kyle, by the way, I'm just like looking through the Athletics live picks tracker. The Athletics done like an amazing job of keeping track of all this with their live product team. Shout out to them. I believe that the Raptors at number 50 are the only second round pick that has not been traded at some point.
Interesting. Hold on, let me refresh. Yeah. Well. Yeah. Huh.
I believe that.
This.
Yeah.
That was. I mean, that was murmuring. I heard
pick
coming in tonight that it was going to be big fruit basket turnover here. Washington up here.
It's crazy. I think this is the Magic because the Magic got Okpara, right?
And then it's Isaiah Nelson.
Washington.
It's Isaiah Nelson headed to Orlando. So Florida man finds Florida team here.
So Isaiah Nelson, South Florida. Did you like Isaiah Nelson?
There are definitely things to like. I mean, he was kind of. I'm trying to think of a comp. I mean, the quick elevator pitch on him is, big, long, rangy, athletic. I consistently would look just to see who half court dunks. I mean, he's a guy who, even though you're not getting like a lot of crazy versatility from him offensively, he wants to tear the rim down a whole lot. So interesting physical profile for somebody at that school. Like, it seems like there's defensive upside with him. But runner, jumper, dunker, athlete. That's the simple pitch for Isaiah Nelson.
Yeah, I really like what he does defensively. To your point, he was Defensive Player of the Year in the American Athletic Conference. Crushes the glass, 9.6 rebounds in 27 minutes per game, but like really crushes the offensive glass. 4 rebounds per game on the offensive end. Has a chance to be like an impact defender. Really impressive movement skills, does an awesome job on the perimeter and ball screen situations. South Florida under Hodgson played like every ball screen coverage imaginable this season. And like you saw him just like kind of fly around, and he's light on his feet. He can blitz, he can play and drop a little bit. Was comfortable switching out onto guards and defending in space. He's a sharp help defender, block shots, gets steals, 1.6 steals per game, has really good hands. He's just very skinny at the end of the day is the problem. He's 219 pounds, is a guy that's essentially a center with a 9-foot standing reach. He has to put on weight is the thing. Like he's got to find a way to get up to 240 pounds while not reducing his like movement ability. I
mean, energy big sort of backup. I mean, what's that's what we're working towards. I mean, I think that's probably the ceiling, right? Very, very disruptive, like you said, moves really well. So at this stage in the draft, pretty reasonable bet, I think. Yeah.
And like just to round this trade up, right? So they've traded 60 now to Milwaukee. So Milwaukee will have the last pick of the draft. And Isaiah Nelson was 43. Felix Okpara was 42 on my list. So they traded the guy I had at 42 for the guy I had at 43 and a little bit of cash, basically. So, seems fine to me. seems generally fine to me.
Who's on your board left now that you are? Is there anybody beyond Vesar that's like you feel like is the best player available?
So beyond Vesar, the best player remaining on my board now is Noam Yakov, who is going to the University of Utah next year. And there is like some question as to whether or not, given like the way the NCAA is kind of cracking down on these European kids right now, as to whether or not he wants to get drafted. Because if he gets drafted, like it'll turn into like a James Najee level draft and stash situation. Mm-hmm. And that seems a bit funky is what I would say.
Yeah. Yakov is pretty interesting. He's got his like gait and pace almost remind me of Sean Padula a little bit. Just that he has this kind of smooth, connective kind of movement. Like, 6'1", like you were saying, he's 21 years old, but has great speed. He pounds the ball really hard, elevates on his jumper, can shoot it. I think he'd be a pretty good college basketball guard if he one of the better ones Utah has had in recent memory, if he does actually sit up for them.
And Sean Padula is like actually a really good call because I think like Sean Padula like non-zero chance to stick like in the NBA.
Yeah.
Like
Absolutely.
like
Yeah.
played some games for the Clippers this year. I know that they loved him. Or whoever had him loved him. I can't remember his Clippers or not. I remember having conversations about Sean Padula playing well in the G League this year, and his team being somewhat excited about that. I think it was the Clippers for what it's worth.
Yes, it was.
So, yeah, I mean, I get it. Yeah, I mean, like I'm fascinated by the Vesar thing. Obviously, I've gotten now from a couple of teams that it feels like they have the home for him.
Yeah.
So.
And the Clippers just took Vesar. So that's a good pickup for the Clippers. I like that. Granted, that this is one of those things where it's the self-bias of like I felt good about Vesar, so naturally I'm going to think that's a good ad. But what do you think about Vesar with the Clippers?
It would be very funny like the Clippers are one of those teams where I can see them just like doing this and starting. Be like, he's very clearly our best player. We're doing this. I have no idea if they were the team or not. I'll kind of reach out and figure it out at some point. Yeah, I mean, you're getting my guy that I ranked 29th on my board at 52. Obviously, they did well here. Vesar has a very real skill set, right? He can dribble, pass, and shoot as a 7-foot big. And he has a 9'3" standing reach. And he is very physical, or he's not very physical. And I thought he was really bad in ball screen coverages defensively this year with North Carolina. That's why he wasn't a first-round pick, was because he was really bad on defense this year. But, it looks like it might be Atlanta for Vesar, it seems.
I think I mocked Vesar to Atlanta at one point. I was high on him also. I was joking with somebody. I was like, my pitch for Vesar is just like, what if Quentin Post actually was pretty nasty and tried to dunk everything? But he can drive closeouts a little bit. He's got a little passing game. I think he's a 4. Like I think throughout college he was being asked to be a 5, and I just think he's more of a help side disruptor type guy. I don't know if he can play 5 in the NBA.
So he has to put on. So he's not very heavy right now. He's 227 pounds. He has to put on 15 to 20 pounds, like regardless, almost to play in the NBA, because if he doesn't, he's just going to get powered through, right? Like even 4s, I think, are going to be able to put their shoulder into him and move him, right? I think he's a 5, to be honest with you, because he's a 9'3" standing reach, and you want where his skills work best is at the 5, because you're getting the marginal advantage of his skill set being such an impressive perimeter shooter and being such a good passer for his size and everything. You're maximizing those best at the 5, right?
Yeah.
By playing him there. So I think that's what he has to be long term. I'm interested in this for sure, that Atlanta seems to be the team, because it had to be Atlanta that is doing this then if they're trading for the pick.
Well, it's a spacing 7-footer for them. It just seems like an obvious, that's an obvious thing that they could use immediately compared to the conversation we had earlier about the sort of stack that they have going on at their front court, in their front court.
Well, and what it is it's a Jock Londale replacement on some level, because Jock Londale was like actually fairly useful for them when he was healthy this year. And yeah, I mean, that's like probably the best point of comparison here is like, can he be Jock Londale in the NBA? I think he probably can, to be honest with you. He is skilled enough to be that. He does, again, like he just has to put on weight. He has to get stronger. I like the way he moves his feet too, to be honest with you. Like, I think that he moves his feet pretty well. And it's weird to me that he was not ever a better ball screen defender. Like, he should have been better on defense. And he was just like, he was instinctually, it didn't feel like it was there all the time for me.
Mm-hmm. Rockets pick is in, and it's Ugana and Yenso.
Okay, let's go nuts. So the Atlanta traded 57 in cash to the Clippers for 52. Oh, wow. So people thought so according to Jake Fisher, So we're going to stay on Vesar for a second here, just because Vesar is like by far the most consequential player that will be taken.
Yes.
In the rest of the draft, basically. Atlanta traded 57 in cash to the Clippers for 52, leapfrogging the Lakers at 56, who a lot of teams thought were targeting Vesar as well. So Atlanta may have jumped in and grabbed Vesar ahead of the Lakers. I would hope that they communicated with the agency. Otherwise, that will be a fun conversation.
These are all places that we had mocked him. I think we had Atlanta in one iteration, and we had Lakers at 25 taking Vesar at one point because with their personnel, that's interesting. Yeah,
it is. Okay, Onyenso. I had Onyenso at 50. So, top 50 player. Coming off the board here. 48 for you. Interesting shot blocker at the end of the day. He's, his game as well as anybody, just because he is somebody that you watched at the University of Kentucky. So Kyle, go ahead.
He was maddening a lot of the time when he was at UK. He just was horribly inconsistent. He didn't really seem to understand recovery concepts at all. Cal would just nearly have an aneurysm over there on the court, on the sideline, yelling at him, but clearly had tools. I mean, went to Kansas State, odd situation there, and then he ends up at UVA. It's funny because, he flirted with coming out, I think, after his sophomore year, and everybody was just kind of like, we're good. But he ends up at UVA in an interesting, dual big kind of situation, or a 1-2 punch with Johan Grunlow, who also is an interesting sort of handsy rim protector. But Ugana, no offensive. You got to keep it simple for him. It's not terribly dissimilar from Okpara, which is why I brought that up earlier. Very, very raw around the basket. It's just left shoulder, right shoulder, pray to God it goes in kind of thing. Or he's not even a super great lob catcher. He's a little fumbly with that stuff. So, but his hand-eye coordination and chasing blocks is pretty good. It's surprisingly good.
So that is Onyenso at 53. At 54, Jake Fisher is saying it's going to be Lajay Jones out of Florida State. Do you have any thoughts on Lajay Jones?
No, I don't. I'll let you cook on Lajay Jones.
This is going to be fun because I have to write a quick little thing on Lajay Jones for The Athletic. So Lajay Jones, look, 6'5" wing with pretty long arms who can shoot a little bit, defend a little bit, gives you effort on the glass. Started his career at St. Bonaventure, if memory serves me right, which I'm going to make sure that is accurate before continuing. I believe it is. Started his career at Tarleton, actually, and then moved to St. Bonaventure after a JUCO year. Yeah, look, just kind of does a lot of things reasonably well is the easiest way to put Jones. He is a guy that can knock down a shot from three. He was 39% at St. Bonaventure, 33% on 5 attempts per game this season. He rebounds well for his size. He is a decent decision maker. I like that he's pretty active on defense actually as well. I felt like that was a useful piece of his game. He was able to, kind of switch up and down the lineup a little bit. He was an active weak side rim protector. His hands were decent. They weren't amazing. He's just one of those guys that can kind of, do a little bit of everything. But my issue is I never watched him shoot and I was like, oh, this guy's like a sniper in the way that he probably has to be in order to be an NBA player. Mm-hmm. Okay. So while I write up that thing on Jones, I'm going to give you a super chat question to answer because I need to handle this. From Daniel Sinney 452. Am I the only one excited to watch starting five of Michael Brown, Jaeger Demon, Michael Porter Jr., Julius Randle, and my boy Danny Wolf? While the Wolfman is howling on this channel every time, I think it's probably going to be Day'Ron Sharpe. If you made me guess, it's going to start. But Kyle, are you excited about that starting group?
Well, when you start looking at this group, you have three guys who have kind of dubious, flaky rim pressure. That's where my basketball brain darts to immediately. Jaeger is going to have to improve on that front. And that's always been kind of the question with him is, can he be downhill consistently in a way that can unlock his passing? And then you think about the erraticness of Michael Brown, like we talked about, just that 1-2 punch in theory is very like they can make all the passes with either hand, and you can see them accessing the width of the floor in a way that could be pretty fun. But, I could see this netting out where that's a little turnover prone. Maybe they're playing more off of the catch, and you end up with this kind of like isolation heavy MPJ thing, isolation heavy thing with Randall, and then Day'Ron Sharpe. If it's Wolf out there too, that just adds to the rim pressure question that I was talking about with those first two guys. I struggle to see like a circuitry that has like continuous kind of continuity and flow with that personnel. I see them being incredibly turnover prone. That lineup, I would imagine, would lead the league in turnovers. It would be my guess. And then you would have Julius and Michael Porter Jr. just getting frustrated and just taking like several stints where they hunt theirs for a little bit, and that would be not to be too much of a wet blanket. Sam, about being too negative on that, or are you just in riding zone? I don't know.
I'm not wildly enthused about this starting lineup. I'm not excited to watch this group, to be honest. I'm like a little bit excited to watch Brown and Yegor. Like they both move the ball reasonably well, right? Like anytime, like Yegor, this is more the role where he should be in, is like, hey, let's play him as a secondary ball handler who can hopefully continue to knock down shots and who can take advantage of the quick passing and decision making, right? Michael Porter Jr. and Julius Randle trading shots back and forth this year is not something I'm going to be enthused about watching.
It's not the beautiful game. I wouldn't say it's the beautiful game.
It's not the beautiful game. Oh my goodness.
Torrey Messina is not going to be, clapping enthusiastically when he watches that on League Pass, but yeah.
No, I would guess he's not going to be. So 55 is happening here. The Clippers are moving up to 55 and taking Nick Martinelli, which is such a Clippers pick. My God, it's so Clippers. Just like guy that is like tough as hell and like annoying and like plays super hard and is a psychotic worker and, how is he going to fit in the NBA? Don't totally know, but like moves so well off the ball and has been just like an elite scorer at Northwestern for the last 2 years, 23 points per game this year, 20 points per game last year. And does it where his primary weapon, Kyle, is he has a floater. Like his game is that I'm going to get to the floater, and that's going to be my move. I'm going to use all sorts of weirdo step throughs and things like that and get to that shot. And he's big too, is the other thing. Like he's 6'6.5" without shoes on, 6'10" wingspan. Man, like yeah. I had a top 50 grade on him, even though I have no idea how it's going to work defensively or really, frankly, what kind of. It's almost like you're going to have to play him as like Jaime Jaquez. Like in the NBA,
it's not terribly dissimilar from that.
Yeah. What were your thoughts on Martinelli?
I had Martinelli at 49. I was messaging with Max Bombach from No Ceilings because he's a Northwestern guy, and I was running out of adjectives. Like he was really pushing me into. I was like angular, oblique, oddball. Just he has this like playgroundy kind of way that he scores in the mid range.
I mean, it's better than like, I thought where you're going with that was I ran out of adjectives to say that he's white.
Yeah. I mean, I had another guy, despite his growth as a scorer, hard to imagine him ever being depended on as a load bearing decision maker beyond the college level. So, I mean, defensively, he's got, he has a dependable motor, but he's going to have issues. And it's just, he's funky. He's very funky. I think he might be the funkiest scorer in the entire draft. He's an interesting watch, but man, he put up points in a good league and heavily left-hand dominant. I would say another thing too, doesn't have a whole lot of, if he's not going left, he's trying to find a way to go back to his left, but he's fun. He's fun.
Yeah. Lived at the foul line, 7 free throw attempts per game this year. And look, like, made 42% of his threes this year. I don't think that will stick in the NBA, to be honest with you.
So.
But he did make 42% of his threes this year. And he is, again, like I can't emphasize enough, anybody who like is a, worker in the way that Nick Martinelli is on some level has a chance, right?
It's got kind of a pulls his hand back when he shoots threes. He's got I wrote a whole long thing about his mechanics because they were there. I was just fascinated with them. I was just rewinding and going back, send it to a shooting coach, be like, what the hell is going on here? It's one of those like it shouldn't work, but he made it work. And that's kind of what you bet on him doing going forward.
Yeah, like his wrist isn't underneath the ball, like his guide hand's almost in front of the ball. Like it just looks real funky, but he clearly has touch, man. Like there's some stuff there to be able to make it work. All right, we're at 40 or 56 coming up here. Someone asked, why did the Lakers buy in? We'll find out here in a second. So shout out to you for the super chat. Thank you, Shabugan. It's Connor. Niche question. What team is a good fit for Meechie Johnson if he were to hit? Alba Berlin.
I was going to say, that's your guy. That's Meechie, yeah. Did the
I would say, yeah, like he did do the Marfo. I think he did the double Marfo, didn't he?
The rare double Marfo.
Because he went Ohio State to South Carolina to Ohio State to South Carolina, like just literally, bounce back and forth. Yeah, like Meechie's probably going to be in the G League next year, to be honest with you. Look, I just don't think he's a good enough shooter, and I don't think that he like makes good enough decisions to play in the NBA necessarily. I would think that like the long-term answer here is probably like Australia or Europe for Meechie Johnson. And he's going to have a long career overseas. Don't get me wrong. Like, I don't mean that negatively. Like there are a lot of guys that are great overseas players. It's just, I think that's probably where it's headed.
Makes sense to me. Alba Berlin would be a nice outcome for a professional basketball player. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's very real. It's a very real potential thing. Let's see. Do we have a pick yet at 56?
Vsevolov Ishenko is in for the Bulls.
Okay, the Bulls Russian, took...
Yeah.
Okay, so, he goes by Seva Ischenko. I'm going to have to write that, obviously. I had Seva at 61, so we're not that far off of him being draftable or anything. This is like a pure stash. Breakout player in Russia this season. Did you watch any of him recently? His name started to buzz a little bit?
A little. Did he have I kept trying to find, did he have a big growth spurt? Because
he did.
I feel like when I first saw him, he was like 6'2". So I'm sure that's driving some of the intrigue here is you watch him and that you think they're going to stash him.
I would imagine this is a stash. And this is, I think it's the Lakers, it looks like, that are getting this pick. I wonder if they bought in for Vasar and then now they're being forced to stash Seva Ischenko, which would be pretty funny. Let's talk about the Lakers real quick. Seva Ischenko, like 6'7" wing, has some dribble pass shoot ability. I think people are like really underestimating how bad, frankly, the Russian league is with some of these numbers. Like 9 points per game for Lokomotiv Kuban. He is like, again, some dribble pass shoot skills. He's able to get to the rim in that league. I'm a little bit skeptical of him getting to the rim in the NBA. He needs a big leap up in competition level to me. Like we need to see him go to like a Euro Cup team, go to Germany, so pick traded to the Mavs.
Is it physicality and turning the corner? Like, is that the drop, like getting to the basket? He needs to answer those questions because he shot the ball really well in a variety of ways. I mean, catch and shoots. I mean, he was really good this past at 52.7. Yeah.
I think he can definitely shoot. I'm not worried about that. I do want to mention the behind the scenes of this real quick. So pick was traded to the Dallas Mavericks, according to Keith Smith, who I think is watching us right now. So shout out to Keith. So pick traded to the Mavericks. Seva Ischenko has been a guy that Gavoni has been pushing recently as a potential stash opportunity. And the connection between Gavoni and Mike Schmitz and Masai Ujiri and
the two towers.
Everything there.
Yeah.
I would imagine that that's what happened here, to be honest with it. So the Lakers bought in at 56. Vasar got taken. This says to me that like they probably bought in for Vasar.
Yeah.
Like,
I guess. How
that's
old?
probably what happened here.
How old is Ashinko though? Is he?
So he's not auto eligible. He stayed in. I think he turns 21 later this year.
Okay.
Look, he was like kind of a like international man of mystery kind of vibe because he was a bit of a late breakout in like the later growth spurt and everything. Again, like to me, it's really all about definitely in Europe next season. I can't look. I'm not going to say that. Should be in Europe next season as a stash. Get him up to a higher competition level and let's see what it is. It is kind of what I would say with Ischenko is the goal.
The numbers that that I'm seeing and the things that I like, it seems like probably needs to get stronger too. It's going to be, you want to test that against stronger competition, grown men, things like that. And the skill set's pretty good though, and the size is good. So a lot to be optimistic about with him.
I would agree. So that was the Lakers pick originally. Do you have any thoughts on the Austin Reeves extension while I type up some stuff on Ischenko?
I mean, just very simply, it makes sense for, this guy that he's homegrown in terms of you identified him, you invested in him, you developed him, you gave him a chance. It would be painful, I think, to see someone like that go out the door. I also think that he is kind of a prototypical angular guy to put with Luka. If you just think you look at these secondary creators and in Luka's way that he likes to play, when he's kicking it to whether or not it's, Austin catching on the weak side or they're in action together. It's just whenever Austin is catching off of Luka's gravity, I think the simple just kind of proposition of Austin Reeves makes more sense than basically any second. I mean, Kyrie, I guess, obviously is really qualified, but it's almost not really the same thing. I just think Reeves is qualified with his skill set to do that job at a really high level. And then when Luka's not on the floor or he misses time, you've got a guy who can score with anybody in the NBA. Reeves, one of the more interesting just kind of developmental stories ever. And an odd thing, Sam, that I encounter a lot from talking to coaches is like Greg Marshall's extremely complex reputation within the coaching sphere where people are just like, this guy had all kinds of trouble, but he was just like one of the best talent evaluators ever. I was talking with this getting a little more down the road with stuff, but there were two coaches who identified Steph Curry and saw him for what he was. One of them was Bob McKillop at Davidson, and the other was Greg Marshall, who desperately wanted Steph Curry. So that's forgotten to history. But anyway, Austin Reeves, I like the pickup. What are you thinking in terms of just like cap management from that angle? Because the basketball angle, I mean, you got to keep him.
You had to do it, and you had to do it this time because, and now they have to figure out an answer on, do we keep LeBron? Do we use our cap space? If I was them, I would want to use this opportunity where you have the Austin Reeves low cap hold, where it's a $20 million cap hold and you're going to sign him to like $41 million to the first year of his contract here. If I'm the Lakers, I think you have to use that on a guy who's going to be with this core long term. Like I know I'm advocating for them losing LeBron, right? And saying that he should go to the Warriors or whatever. I think it's the better play for them. Like, I think that prioritizing Reeves was the right call. And I think that they should go try to find somebody that works within their cap space now moving forward.
Yeah. I mean, they didn't expect to end up in this situation, to have the chance to get Luka Doncic. It's a weird timeline situation. They have kind of tried to navigate the purgatory between these two eras. If everybody had been healthy in the playoffs, it speaks to the talent that they have. I still think it would have been pretty fun to watch. It had a low ceiling, but I think on paper, I'm with you. You never want to tell LeBron James to go away, but in this situation, it's just like if the ceiling is that our finances are going to be a certain way, and it's like, let's just go ahead and move to this next era where these two guys are at the center of what we're going to do.
Yep, I think that's right. Man, we have a pause on the draft, it looks like here. 57 is up.
Nope.
57.
It's your guy, Sam. It's your guy. Ladies and gentlemen, he ain't going to Auburn.
He might be going to Auburn, I would imagine. So Narcisse Ngoy. Okay. I can't believe that. Oh my God. I can't believe that they're drafting Narcisse Ngoy. So the Clippers have kept it 57. This is going to the Clippers. Narcisse Ngoy is let's go with late blooming, exceptionally large human being. He is 7 foot tall with like a 7'9" wingspan. He was set to go to Auburn this year. I'd imagine he's still set to go to Auburn, to be honest with you. Played in like second division France this year. He is I can't emphasize enough. This is a massive human being. He's got to be like 270 pounds.
Udoka Azubuike kind of vibes from him physically. Like he's totally even bigger. Yeah.
Like 10 points per game, 11 rebounds per game, 2.4 blocks in the French second division. I can't emphasize enough. Like the French second division is like low quality of competition. But when I talked to like a couple people around Europe and talked to like GM of a French team and everything, what they told me was like the development track record here with Ngoy is very quick. And he is getting drastically better and better and better. Massive hands. It is a very simple game. It is screen, roll, catch, dunk. If he's doing anything else other than screen, roll, catch, dunk, something has gone wrong, is the reality. That is it. I did not have Ngoy as a top 100 player for me. I do not think that this is an NBA player long-term, to be honest with you, but I understand what the Clippers are doing here, stashing him over there. He is like, if you think that he's going to go to Auburn and, battle on the interior, I don't know. It's not quite for me, is what I would say. Like, I don't think he's ever going to be able to play like ball screen defense, and he'll block shots, but like, I don't think he's ever going to be able to move well enough to play in the NBA.
I want him to go to Auburn just so I can see him sumo wrestle Ruben Chinyelu and foul out in 5 minutes. Like, I want to see that. I was laughing watching him. I mean, I definitely did a synergy cram on him earlier today upon Sam's recommendation. And it's fun. It's fun. But if you see, he also has he'll have moments where I was pointing out to him, I was like, he like reverse pivoted and like dunked on 3 people. So his hands are just up at the rim. And I'd like to see the measurement. Wouldn't shock me if it's like 11 inches, because he's like squeezing that thing. He's just a big old guy. So I guess you're maybe trying to get out ahead of it and assume that, speaking of arc angle, that the arc angle of this development is just going to continue to go up, but it's a long shot. He's just so raw. There's just not a lot going on there beyond gigantic.
Yeah. I mean, look, like there's a reason that he's playing second division in France. Like, it's like, do you remember Mustafa Fall? Like, that's kind of what it reminds me of. Like, this is where we're at here.
Do you think I could get some run in second division in France? Maybe get some shots up. I don't know. I can still play a little bit. Yeah. Be
close. Okay. We have Jerron Pierre now at SMU. So another guy that I did not have in my top 100, but that's for different reasons.
That's
you've probably watched
Pell's guy. Yeah. I'm not really shocked that they like him.
Yeah. You have definitely watched Jerron Pierre. So please give me some thoughts on Jerron Pierre.
Pierre, played for SMU this past year, and he's just a pure bucket getter. There are times when he's out there. SMU had a really interesting slew of guards who could put it in the basket, and they'd get hot at times, and you'd be like, Jesus, like this is. But they would also just kind of run off the rails, like, and lose to a team like Miami, Ohio, which was actually really well assembled. So Jerron is he can fall into ruts of playing, the decision-making tree can look like, did Jerron score? Yes or no? That's kind of how simple it is at times. But I don't know. He's kind of in that category with AJ Storr. He plays a similar brand of basketball. It's just tries to go and get his. He has moments. I mean, he's put up numbers in college. I don't know the efficiencies in front of me, but yeah, that's bucket getter is the name of the game with Jeron Pierre. I'll pull up some of those numbers for you though.
Yeah. So, yeah, I just really don't love the way Jeron Pierre plays basketball. It's really aggressively not for me. Yeah. So the numbers are great. 17 points per game, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 turnovers, 46, 37, 76 from the field. Like all these numbers are great in the ACC play, right? But look, like put it this way. Jeron Pierre averaged 18 on 46, 37, 76 with 5 rebounds and 2 assists with a steal and did not make the all ACC team this year. So I would imagine that tells you what coaches think of the way that Jeron Pierre plays basketball.
Yeah, he's in his own lane a lot of the time, and it's just not a very efficient lane. There are guys that you can kind of guess. I love to always guess like assist to usage just based on like that description. And I'm gonna imagine that it's extremely low, and he's at 0.44, which is 21st percentile for guards. So yeah, very very low. He's doing his own thing out there. At times he'll be a tough shot maker, and you'll be like, oh wow, that's a guy, isn't it? And then you continue to watch, and your eyes glaze over, and it's rough. Yeah.
Yeah. So look, Pierre, I think, is from New Orleans as well. So, could be, hey, like, let's appeal to the local fan base kind of vibe. Take the local kid. It's just not. It's not a game for me, Kyle, is maybe the way to put it. But hey, Chaos Actor is back. Troy Weaver going off the top 100 board to take a player. I love it. The Chaos Actor has arrived.
They ain't heard from me in this draft. Yeah, that's kind of what happened just now, I think. He had to make his presence felt. 2 more picks, Sam. This is back-to-back nights. I stayed up until 2:30 in the morning last night. This isn't quite as bad, but
yeah.
2 more picks, Sam, and you can finish writing your grades.
What, you mean Bill isn't? Bill's not going live after the second round?
We're not going live, actually, now. On DAZN after this. Yeah, I don't know who would carry that broadcast. Daily Motion. The pick is in for the Wolves, and it's Trey Kaufman-Renn, our old friend.
Hey, I like that. Give me some Trey Kaufman-Renn thoughts.
Was a part of consistently winning basketball at Purdue in that triumvirate there with Fletcher Lawyer and Braden Smith. It's late. I can barely talk at this point, but just kind of if he can learn to space it, I think it's that's the thing that could sort of put him over. But passes the ball pretty well for a big. I'd say he's kind of a crafty below the rim, more scorer. But I mean, for Purdue, that was a big win for them because I forget they recruited him out of Southern Indiana, if I'm not mistaken. This is kind of just more background stuff, but Renn was a really productive college player, and so I think he's a diligent worker, and people seem to swear by him. So yeah.
Big thing for him is going to be the shooting. Can he shoot like in any way, shape, or form? If he shoots it, like I actually thought he got way better on defense. I thought that he got like you averaged 20 points a game in the Big Ten as a junior. And then when they brought in Oscar Clough, they decided to, transition his role back, play that like kind of too big style. I actually thought Kaufman-Renn's game like rounded out a little bit better this season, even if the numbers weren't as, aggressive, right?
Yeah, I mean his game is tilted heavily towards like paint twos. Like he has like a crafty post up game. Restricted area points this year. He doesn't have a lot of bad notions about who he is as a basketball player. I mean, on a lot of attempts, 77.9% inside the restricted area. So he just kind of sticks to what he knows, and he's crafty and he's good at it. So, but you're right. If he's going to shoot the ball, I mean, he was like 15% from 3 on very little volume. If he could become just a set shooter from 3, that would be a big win.
Yep, totally agree with you. Had a really good pre-draft process too. I'll say that. Teams I talked to were like, wait, why are we drafting Trey Kaufman-Renn? Like, what's the point of this? Like, isn't he just going to be in Europe in a couple of years? And then they got to know him through the pre-draft process and watched him, play at different events and things like that. And they were like, well, hold on a minute here. Let's think through this, right?
He does seem like a really good European player to me. Like that feels right. And like I said, Americans thumb their nose at that, but there's nothing wrong with that. There's only so many jobs in this market. So,
yeah. 62 on my board, Trey Kaufman-Renn. We are up here at number 60, which is the Milwaukee Bucks. I feel like the Milwaukee Bucks have had more last picks in the draft than like any team I can remember. Because wasn't Russillo's boy Hugo Besson the last pick in the draft? And then wasn't Yorgos Kalitzakis the last pick in the draft too?
Oh yeah, Kalitzakis is a legendary one. Yeah, I'm trying to think back.
Yeah.
So we have 2. Either way, 3 in a row. Let's see. We got 38 seconds until this glorious round 2 concludes. Let me see here.
Yeah, so someone asked, any thoughts on who is Detroit targeting with cap space? We kind of mentioned that during the Stewart thing. I feel like it's got to be Norman Powell, right? That has to be the move here. It's like the only one that really makes sense to me, is like a high enough swing.
I guess just sort of like usage type would be my question for that. Do you want a guy who is just pure? Powell's such a tough shot maker. I think that's another. So you would thread the needle between audacious, tough shot maker versus like a more of a ball screen operator who's playing off the catch with Cade, right? I mean, I would like more of a Powell than a Kobe White, especially with Okori there now, right? Yeah. Because we talked about like, God, they should try to find a way to go after like a Tyler Hero, something like, if they could make that happen, or just somebody who is like overqualified as like a ball screen operator and a scorer. But Norm is just, he can sort of just spackle over broken plays over, I think that could be pretty helpful for the Pistons. We saw that a lot in the playoffs.
Yeah. Hero's interesting. Like if they got Hero for free, like I wouldn't be opposed to it, but like I wouldn't want to give up a whole lot for Hero versus like doing Norm Powell. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The pick for the Wizards is, well, for the Bucks. It's in.
We got standing ovation, or sitting ovation rather, for Mark Tatum. Shout out Mark Tatum.
He smiled the entire broadcast. That's why they gave him a standing ovation. It was a record. He's been lifting weights with his cheek muscles all year to try to do this.
Oh my God.
Want to know how I got these scars, Mark Tan? It's Malik Lewis. I'll let you
Malik Lewis. Okay, there we go. Shout out the NBL, Malik Lewis. I think I had Malik Lewis ranked. I had Malik Lewis where 91st. So I've watched Malik a good amount. Being
way
in
the
Melbourne.
bag. Yeah.
Yeah. So, originally came from Trinidad, grew up developed a little bit in Spain, and came over here. And was he in the G League at one point? I believe he was playing for Mexico City and then came here. Really long athletic player. Like he is probably like 6'7" to 6'8", 7'1" wingspan. He plays hard, man. Like I'll give him that. Like he plays really, really hard. He's tough. He really does like want to be a great player. I just don't think he's skilled enough really at the end of the day, to be honest with you. We've got Mark Tatum like doing the rounds right now on TV, giving everyone high fives in the stands. This is amazing. Yeah, like I wish that Malik Lewis was just more skilled. If I thought he could really shoot it, I would probably be more interested. I would also be a little bit more interested if he was willing to stash. Like if he was willing to go overseas for a couple years and not make me do a two-way immediately, that would be good too. How old is he
at this point? He did play for Mexico City in 2023, 24. So he's got to be 22 years old at this point, right? Or how?
He would be 21 or 22, I would guess, at this point. I think he was.
Would you be
he was
wanting
definitely
to
auto
stash?
eligible.
Yeah. At that age,
turns 22 in November.
How many guys stash at 22? That's my thing. Yeah, he's probably just kind of like, hey, man, I'm marching towards the grave over here. We got to get my career going.
Jesus. AK Okereke has agreed to a 2-way deal with the Lakers. Had to get that one done right after the draft.
Got to get pen to paper.
I'm sure
out the door.
I'm sure AK was feeling that way. Got to get that one done. It's not really shots at AK Okereke. It's just like he averaged 9 points a game for Vandy this year, and I don't know, like he was fine on defense. Like he's okay. Trey Donaldson to the Heat. I actually like Trey Donaldson. That's a good one. Trey Donaldson can play a little bit.
Staying in town there. Yeah.
I thought he got like way better this year actually at Miami too, which is interesting. But yeah. Okay, Kyle. Second round thoughts. Give me all of your second round thoughts. What was the story of the second round before we get out of here?
I mean, Vasar falling is pretty fascinating because I think most people had him at least in the. I mean, most people probably in the 20s. I would say consensus. The teams that the Heat adding. The Heat. I'm trying to wrap my head around it all just because it went by so fast. The Heat added somebody that we both agreed was going to play. Conwell.
The Heat. Yeah. So the Heat got Conwell, which I thought was a really good get for them. Like they needed shooters. They filled a real hole. I think he will play for them with Giannis this year. I mean, the pick for the second round for me is the Grizzlies getting Richie Saunders. That's just a home run. Yeah. Highest rated player on the board, take him at 32. That's an A+ draft for me. They've done or like an A draft for me. The A+ draft for me is Emmanuel Sharp going to the Kings at 45. For them to get a cuff and then like two winners in Sharp and Caravan. I love what the Kings did tonight and yesterday. I think that they are a better basketball team because of what they've done today. And I think that front office should be very pleased.
Yeah. I mean, we tease him a lot. We over at the Ringer, we tease Vivek quite a bit, but I think that we need to sort of acknowledge that Perry's done a pretty good job. Like I mentioned earlier, and if you just joined the stream, I mean, Zoomed Out was talking about, the Cardwell piece from last year, who, there were some people online last year that was like, is it kind of possible that Cardwell might be better than Janai Broome because of the things that he can do that are bankable? And then, meet Clifford. So who knows who's going to stick from this? Acuff is the central driving force of this. Obviously, you're trying to turn the tide of your organization. They're making good. They're vetting people in an effective way. So I still have some hope for Nick Clifford too. We'll see what happens with Devin Carter, but the Kings just very, very slow momentum. It's creeping. It's not super fast, but they've made some good choices too with Caravan as well.
Yeah, I love what they've done. Round up in terms of my top 60 guys here. So 48 of my top 50 players got taken. I really feel happy with the fact that we got into the last 14 picks and things got insane. 43 of my top 46 players were taken in the top 46 picks. We really got into some deal making here late in the second round. Best player not drafted, Noam Yakov. We talked about that. That's more like University of Utah, like probably going there, going to be like a Testa-Ritter situation. He'll be, able to sign at the end of the year if he wants to. Mm-hmm. They might have wanted him to go undrafted. Nate Biddle was 48 for me. I would imagine that's purely medical, to be honest. Like his injury history is not great. He's just an awesome player when he's been on the court. 51, Tobias Jensen. I liked him as a stash, but like in terms of like overall, I ranked him at 51 because I liked it. I liked the asset idea of stashing him, basically. Probably not a top 50 player on my board or top 60 player on my board, but the stash idea is better. And I would have rather stashed him than Ishchenko for what it's worth. Nick Boyd, I think, is realistically, once you get through like the, medical with Biddle, and I don't know that it's a medical with Biddle. I'm just assuming because he's missed so many games throughout his career that the medical probably doesn't look great. I would say Nick Boyd is probably the player I'm most surprised when undrafted tonight. Was awesome this year at Wisconsin. Like, I thought he was so good this year at Wisconsin. He's 25 years old already. And you're 6'1" with a 6'2" wingspan, and you're 25 years old. You have an uphill battle, but man, 21 points, 4 assists, 2.5 to 1 assist turnover ratio, 48, 37, 83. I'm like a little bit surprised that he didn't get picked. Maybe he has a spot already too. I'd kind of gotten a few rumors of a couple of teams that liked him. So
yeah, a few more that just didn't, that were in the sphere being talked about. I mean, Kruma made a run there at the end that people thought. I wasn't as high on Kruma, but Kadir Copeland, Rafael Castro, Taman Lipsy, Milos Uzan, Duke Miles had some fans, Michael Ayayi, you had Jaden Henley, and then what was the other one that we were joking about? Mohamed Amini, Oscar Clough, who just got a lot better this past year. So those guys they'll get picked up on the E10 sort of wire here soon, I think.
Yeah, Zach Cleveland is a guy I kind of dig. Went to Liberty, super athlete, very funky game. He feels very Kyle Mann coded.
He's like the opposite of the typical guy coming out of Liberty. Usually it's just like shoots the piss out of the ball, but he's like the opposite of the Liberty archetype. Yeah. He's pretty fascinating. Yeah.
All right, Kyle. I think storyline of second round, probably Vasar, Richie Saunders, these guys all get picked, Teams did fine, I would say, is my take. Actually, do you know what the biggest storyline in the second round is? It's definitely the Grizzlies, because they got both Richie Saunders and Isaiah Stewart.
That's a pretty good haul for this night. I mean, and credit to you. You're squeezing wine out of a turnip here with this. The second round is for sickos. I think anybody watching this stream should probably go get some kind of consultation for their well-being, because you're sick. But I love you. You're my people. So
we're here,
we did it.
Kyle, I recommend you touch that plant that's behind you, get some green on your body.
Yeah.
All of you guys here watching.
Well.
Yeah. All of you guys watching, we appreciate everyone for coming through. The Sickos draft is always really fun. The second round, hope we did well. We really, I do wonder if we go back to a one-day draft. Someone brought that up in the comments.
We have to.
Can we
I don't. Now more than
draft?
ever. It makes less sense than ever with the NIL stuff that happened for 2 days. We got to go back.
We really need to. Do we think that Wendy wants to be sitting up there on that stage talking about second round picks?
I was saying, just with all the union workers that they've got in New York and stuff, they have to be losing money. I don't we're just hemorrhaging money for no reason. Let's go back. What are we doing? I want Taco Bell commercials with Euro guys getting drafted and everybody's half asleep. That was the justified amount of attention for this. So
are the ads really paying that much for the second round this year? Watch it come in the second round of the draft is the 10th highest viewed thing on cable this week because of that'd be very funny. Live sports. All right. Kyle, tell the people where they can find your work over at The Ringer. Tell the people what you've got going on.
I mean, you nailed it. Just go looking for The Ringer. You'll find me on the podcast network over there on group chat and covering the draft and all that good stuff. That's where it is. That's where you'll find me at Kyle Mann on pretty much every platform.
Kyle is the best. I recommend everyone go follow Kyle. He's truly one of my favorite people doing draft coverage. He's one of my favorite people to talk about basketball with. Really excited to see him in Las Vegas for Summer League. It is terrific. I'm going to go right and then crawl in a hole and hopefully no signings happen for the next 3 days. That would be great. NBA, can you please just play along with me on that? I'm not asking a lot. I have to write 8,000 words in the next 12 hours. Just give me 3 days after that, right?
You can do it.
That'd be great.
I have faith.
I appreciate all you. Okay, so second round done. Go to The Athletic. Keep me employed over there. All of my NBA draft guide. If you want to know anything about these second rounders, Hollinger and I did grades. NBA draft guide has write-ups for just looking through here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 54 of the 60 guys that were drafted tonight, or 24 of the 60 guys that got drafted tonight, or 24 of the 30 guys that got drafted tonight. We got there eventually, Kyle. There are write-ups there. So go there. You'll be able to read them all. That's all we got. We'll be back. Bryce and I will be back at some point. We'll do like an actual draft roundup episode on Friday or Saturday. I don't know when. Honestly, could be Sunday at this point. We'll see. But we appreciate everyone for coming through. Until next time, we'll talk soon. Bye.